afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. In baseball, Cleveland hosts Detroit at 6:40. Detroit's Jack Flaherty faces Cleveland's Tanner Bybee. Guardians won 5-2 last night and now lead the AL Central after trailing the Tigers by as many as 15.5 games. Cincinnati welcomes Pittsburgh at 6:40. Pirates ace Paul Skeens throws against Reds ace Hunter Green, fresh off a complete game shutout. Cincinnati one game out of the third NL wildcard spot. Mariners and Yankees clinch playoff spots Tuesday. In the NFL, Cleveland signed offensive tackle and former Buckeye Thayer Munford Jr. to the active roster. Munford played 3 seasons with Las Vegas and was on New England's practice squad. This update sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome in. The show is back on the road. I hate the studio. I like to get out on the road. I like to do work in about 26 degrees Fahrenheit.
It feels beautiful in here.
And we are back at CBJ training camp. I'm with my man Austin Ward because I did find out that my boy Matty Ice does have in his contract that he does not do a show if it's less than 70 degrees. So once we knew we were doing it here, and full power to him. You got to exercise that clause in your contract.
There's only one option if Matty can't show up and it's under 70 degrees.
That's right.
That's A-Ward Sports.
And A-Ward Sports is with us. And maybe for a little entertainment for the YouTubers, we'll launch you out of that cannon behind us because we need a little excitement today.
You teased it.
I did tease it. Yeah, you're willing to do most things, and that would be awesome. Because I think that from the trajectory standpoint, we could probably get you to center ice from here.
I'd love to be out there. The boys are out there right now. The Jackets are getting a little day of game, preseason exhibition skate going on out there. Just the sound of hockey being back, Anthony. I know it gets you fired up. It gets me fired up. The barn looks beautiful already. Just get some fans packed in here. I know that Columbus is ready for this team to make a push after really just so vastly exceeding expectations a year ago.
They really did, and it was based on a lot of emotion and a lot of coming together. This was the 7th best scoring team in the league without Boone and Sean Monahan, and they came together. And it comes back to, can they score more than they give up? Because I just want to put it back. They can score. Because on the rush, this team is very dangerous. But for people that know this sport, man, you cannot win if you don't defend and if you don't get good goaltending. And Jet Greaves is going to go tonight, I hear, in the preseason against Pittsburgh here at Nationwide Arena. And then we'll see how that battle unfolds between he and Elvis. And that will be the big part, the big storyline of this year, is if they can defend and get great quality goaltending. Because they did not do anything tangible to truly improve defending, this year. And so Don Waddell's coming on at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to put it right to him. I think he was swinging hard. They went into the 11th hour with Provorov because I think he was trying to swing for something big that never happened. And so they go back to Provorov and pay him an enormous salary in terms. So all of a sudden, there's some thought that they have to be as good as they were last year and hopefully better to get into the playoffs. So they didn't miss by much. They missed by 2 points. Their young guys are coming. They really are. I mean, it's an exciting time to watch Fantilli and Marchenko and Kent Johnson and guys really try to shine for them this year. But I'm into more of the blue line. And can you expect Zach Werenski to be as good as he is? Of course. Can you expect him to have the explosion he had last year? Who knows?
Hope so.
Yeah, hope so, right?
Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point there, Anthony. We look at the front office decisions and how it relates to the goaltending spot. I mean, you look at their evaluation, where they felt like they needed to address this in the offseason and getting ready for the start of the season here coming up really quick. They didn't do anything dramatic in that. And I think there were nights last year you look at it as like there's nothing that maybe any goaltender could have done. You could have been Bobrovsky in his prime, and the high quality chances that were being given up by this team, like there was no solution for that. You would have needed to build a actual brick wall in front of the net to keep some of those shots out. So, that's going to be the pressure on for that blue line is what can they do this year to cut down on some of those high-quality, grade A chances in front of net so that you can put your goaltender, whoever, whether it's Jet, whether it's Elvis, whether it's whoever, that they have a better chance of success, because that's what it's going to come down to this team. I don't think there's any doubt that they've got the offensive firepower, and if they stay healthy, just knock on this table right now. I mean, I think that's what made last year's rise even more impressive, was how they were piecing it together without this best version of the Blue Jackets. So if you can get a little bit of the extra luck and you cut down on some of those chances in front of net, you're not that far out of that playoff race already.
So it's interesting, 89 points last year and missed the playoffs by 2, but they had to go on a hell of a run last year at the end just to get to that point. The over-under this year on points, I've checked this, is 84.5. So that's not getting you in.
No.
If you're right around there again. So they've got a lot of, I guess, consistency to have this year to get in there and not expect a late run like they did last year to boost them, to get them in. Dean's had him for a year now. How much better can he get? And as far as demanding and what he expects out of this team, you know, I mentioned Zach Werenski, a great offensive defenseman, and how much he's tilted into that offensive zone a lot. And you want to be aggressive. You want the D to pinch. You want those guys to come in. But giving up a handful of odd man rushes against that goaltending last year was not a good recipe. So if you have an all-star goalie, if you have a Bobrovsky, you can play some risky hockey.
Yeah.
They didn't, and they don't. I hope Jet Greaves really pushes. He should. He's got a great glove. He's not a massive guy. Is he ready for a full season of NHL hockey? He certainly was on a big run last year. So I do think it gives Blue Jacket fans a lot of hope. But to win in this league, you better defend. You have to. And how much you're limiting all these high-danger chances that they faced. I question whether they have the horses on D, and do they have the goaltending to get him in. I hope they do, and we'll see what Don Waddell has to say at 2 o'clock. Here's our lineup today. So we'll have a little CBJ royalty strolling through around 12:30 with Rick Nash. There's only 161, you know that. Matthew Olivier, versatile, power forward, a guy that has massively exceeded expectations for a lot of people. And I'll tell you, I gave you that quote before the show. All right, send the kids out of the room for a second. I don't care how fast a skater you are. If you don't play that game with a big heart and a big bag of knuckles in front of the net, you don't got dinky do. And Matthew Olivier is that guy to bring it. So he'll come on at 1:30. Our guy Bobby Carpenter in the bulletin will get you set for the road trip at Washington. And then the big Don sub, Don Waddell, president of Hockey Ops and the GM, will join us at 2 o'clock. Shefty will make an appearance. We're going to float Shefty to 2:30. I really want to get his opinion on whether the Bengals, after they laid that egg at Minnesota, or how long are they going to ride with Jake Browning, and what even could they do?
Yeah.
So we'll have those discussions.
Options are limited at this point.
They really are, because, you know, one of the options was when Russell Wilson was playing well, but he may still be an option because he's benched now. But would you even want him? Because
I tell you what, I don't want to see it. The Ward family says no deal on Russell Wilson. Mr. Unlimited has become highly limited. That ceiling has dropped precipitously, and if the Giants can't even start him, I mean, the Bengals loss on Sunday, I don't even really chalk it up to Browning. That may sound crazy, but you had that stretch right before halftime with the 3 fumbles. So I'm just not pinning it on him. I think they can still roll with him, but that's Adam Schefter can trump me if he wants.
Can't wait to talk to him at 2:30. So as we said, we're at CBJ training camp. Team missed the playoffs by only 2 points. It was special in its own right because they came together, in my mind, unfortunately, through tragedy. Now, the challenge this year, knowing you have the hunger from barely missing out, you do have that. That should carry over. But also knowing that it may not come with the same exact emotion behind it.
Yeah.
You know, because this isn't a play for Johnny year. It will always be in the back of their minds, but last season it was. And I think that they felt a real strong attachment to his legacy and not letting what happened, the tragedy of what happened, sink the entire season. I think they would have felt that was a really bad thing to do for his memory, and I wanted to play for it. Didn't get him in, but it got him all the way to the wire. I'm curious on how that emotion either settles down or is always there, but you're not playing off it this year.
No, it goes hand in hand with also like a new regime, a new coach. You get that bounce back. You're buying into a system. You have the motivation to play for Johnny. I think I think you can take pieces of both of those things, and neither one of them exists in the exact same capacity. Like, Johnny's always going to be in the back of their mind, the guys that shared that room with him downstairs, that played on the ice with him, that knew, how much he had given to the sport, to even his relatively short time in Columbus. That part will always linger for them. It won't, time will heal some of those wounds. And now you're into a second year moving forward with the head coach on the bench there. So, you're going to have to recapture some of that, and it's not going to look exactly the same. But I think maybe seeing how it energized their play or motivated them or lit a fire, whatever cliche you want to use, how close it got them, hopefully that's the thing that they remember. All right, well, we had all of that behind us, and it still didn't get all the way. We have to give 10% more, whatever. I mean, it's one game. 2 games get you over the line. If that fuels you through this preseason, or a game like tonight, or once you get into some of these home and homes in the midst of that schedule, got to give a little bit extra. Hopefully they can remember what that got for them last year, and that it still wasn't quite enough.
That's right, and it can work in the reverse way as well, which is, you are playing with heavy hearts all season, and how much of that does weigh on you, but they did a tremendous job. And listen, 5-on-5, this was as dangerous of a team that we saw in the league last year, and that gives me a lot of hope. But I come back to the same stuff that I've talked about for years, which is, can you get that power play percentage into the upper half of this league? Can you get a penalty kill into the upper half of this league statistically? I mean, this team had almost 3.5 goals a game, but they also gave up almost 3.5. So you're kind of in a weird spot where if you're giving up as much as you're getting, you're not going to make it in this league. So that blue line's got to be big. The goaltending has to take a step up, and if you can still be dangerous 5-on-5, the health, they are right there, man, and they know what it takes. And listen, Coach Dean came in and exceeded a lot of people. He's the guy who's just thrown in, and now he's had them full camp, ready to go. And tonight they dropped the puck against the Penguins. So we'll have Rick Nash joining us bottom of the hour. Up next, we'll segue into the Buckeyes and their road trip and the schedule and the challenge that lies ahead for them this week, and where does it rank in the big picture. That's next. We're live at CBJ Training Camp, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
ABC Wednesday, The Golden Bachelor premieres.
Hi, Mel.
Hello. Former NFL star Mel Owens is looking for his second chance at love.
I'm hopeful that I'll find true love.
But these women are in a league of their own.
Mel has never been exposed to women like us. I don't know how he can handle it all.
The Golden Bachelor season premiere.
To love, happiness, and fun.
Tonight at 9 on ABC 6.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
5 words no one wants to hear. You need a new roof. What do you do? Who do you call? How are you going to pay for it? Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and these are all questions that run through people's minds when they hear those 5 words. But if you pick up the phone and call Victor's Home Solutions, your new roof will be the easiest, most hassle-free home improvement project you'll ever do. Victor's has thousands of 5-star ratings for both customer service and high-quality installation. Plus, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. And since no one wants to pay these high interest rates for a limited time, Victor's is offering 5-year, no-interest financing with minimum monthly payments for qualified buyers. So if you need a new roof, don't stress. Victor's Home Solutions has your back. It starts with a free 21-point roof inspection. It assesses the exact condition of your roof and what needs to be done next. Set up your inspection today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS, or online at victors.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,
T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating. You're overwhelmed. You might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup, or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Shower activity will dominate your Wednesday, so grab the rain gear. Scattered showers and occasional rumble of thunder will be expected throughout the day, of a high in the low 70s. We'll see more chances for scattered showers and rumbles of thunder as we head through this evening and into tonight. Chances for rain continue into your Thursday with highs in the mid-70s before we start to dry some Friday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie ranked the most dynamic duo of all time, Caesar Salad and Moscow Mule. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back live from CBJ camp. Anthony Rothman, my boy Austin Ward with us, Scotty Vegas, Chris, we're all here. Scotty's already spent a half an hour in the pro shop.
I'm surprised that he left so quickly.
Well,
he doesn't have any bags with him yet.
Did have to turn us on today. You had to turn the buttons.
You know what? It's so funny because last week we're doing the show out at the Nationwide Championship. I walk into the pro shop and I'm looking at all this stuff, and then about 45 minutes later, I'm like, hey, I walked in with Anthony and Chris. Where are they? And I get this text like, you're taking too long shopping in this pro shop. We're going to go eat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love the stuff here too.
Well, and the good news is you get it all to yourself today. So before the big crowd comes.
Private shopping.
That's right. Pick of the litter, man. He's got it. So we'll have Rick Nash coming on at 12:30, Director of Hockey Ops, Royalty. A lot going on in the 25th anniversary year. We'll get some details from Nasher. All right, I mentioned this to you in the break. So what is this massive fear of Washington? Like, I feel like, I'm not saying don't respect them, and maybe it's, so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you the options. All right, their offensive weapons.
Yep.
Their atmosphere of their stadium, the streak they have going where they haven't lost a home game in, 22.
Yep.
Or that's probably it. What is the lean?
Yeah, I think you throw in three things, and two of them really have nothing to do with Washington itself, which is traveling cross country, and Ryan Day and Mickey Marotti kind of sat down and said, what's the best way to handle this? They're leaving a day early, so they're leaving tomorrow after practice to get out for this West Coast trip. So you have body clocks. You have the noise in Husky Stadium in Washington, with this long winning streak going on there, 22 straight games. the noise and how that impacts Julian Sayin, his first Big Ten game and also his first road start. So I think that's a factor. And then, Damon Williams in this rushing attack, they've got some, talent at the wide receiver. They can score points. They're probably going to make some plays there. So those are the three things that you look at. And even when you add them up, to me, Anthony, and you asked about this yesterday, and we touched on it briefly on a day trip, but like this number is strange to me, because if that's the extent of the challenge, I don't think that Julian Sayin is going to be fazed by the noise. This Washington defense is not nearly as talented, not even in the same ballpark as what he faced in his college debut against Texas. So I sort of it's unknown, but I'd be surprised if Julian Sayin is fazed by that. When Ohio State went out just one day early to play Oregon, I don't think that fatigue or jet lag or distraction or sluggishness is what cost them that game, as much as a bogus pass interference call on Jeremiah Smith and then time just slipping away from Will Howard on that. I mean, it's a great game, back and forth, the physicality. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. And then you look at Damon Williams, he's great. Matt Patricia's had an extra week to prepare for him, and he was already thinking about him because last Tuesday he was comparing him to Kyler Murray, so was already deep into a game plan and the evaluation there. And if he is, and he is like Kyler Murray, but he's also under 6 feet tall, he's under 200 pounds, are you going to run him at Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs a bunch of times and hope to win the game? I would say probably not. I'm not sure that'd be the smartest strategy. So that's why I think Ohio State is taking it seriously for those reasons that you mentioned, and why. It makes a lot of sense. But everything, when Ryan Day is talking about that, stops short of talent-equated matchup game. Those buzzwords have not been used for this. Ohio State should still win it. So have fear. Have respect, I think, is probably the way the Buckeyes look at it.
We also always lean to, I know we do this the opposite way, when Ohio State's playing a Penn State or somebody of that hierarchy, we always say, oh, they're coming off a bye week. The schedulers gave them a great advantage. Well, guess who's coming off the bye week this time?
Yeah.
It's Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes we use it in reverse when we want to, and, they may be rusty. Like Ohio State got an extra week to prepare for their first road trip. I feel like that had to be a big deal for them. And the other thing is, Ryan Day's been really good coming off a bye week so far. His teams don't lay an egg after a bye week. Not that they should. They have a lot of talent.
And they don't against unranked opponents, period. He is everything that we look at with that, and the criticism that he came under the scrutiny, and a lot of it justified after the loss to Michigan last year. We all know that. But it was looking at his record in the top 10 games, the ranked opponents. When you break that out, and Washington's not even getting votes in the AP poll right now, and that could change in a hurry, but, when Ryan Day is playing these teams that are outside the top 25, to use your terminology, there are not eggs laid. His teams come out ready to play, and by and large, coming off of off weeks, Ohio State is always ready to go.
Average margin of victory in those 6 games coming off a bye week, 41 points. Now,
not too bad.
No one's going in there saying they're going to destroy them, but I agree with you. I was surprised when the thing came down to 8.5. I do give a little bit of maybe more respect to the fact that Julian Sayin does have to go on the road, hostile environment, and be good. And I think that is going to be a big experience for him. Although I said on the show yesterday I could make the case, and I have, that I felt he had more pressure in game 1 at home in front of 100,000 than he will in this game.
Yeah,
based on opponent and pressure and being the next guy up after a national championship team.
The scrutiny for that, that's gonna send the blood rushing to your ears anyway. It's going to be hard for you to hear and process that all the first time. You're in the horseshoe, even with the fans being quiet. You can't make 100,000 people deadly, completely silent to go operate that offense. And when you're doing that against Texas, as I said, the level of talent on that Texas defense, there was no drop-off. We can talk about Arch Manning and the difficulties the Longhorns are having on offense. That defense is legit, and Ohio State tried to scale it back to protect him in game 1, and then came out of it with Ryan Day and Brian Hartline saying, well, guess we didn't actually need to do that. We should have given him more, and maybe that margin of victory would have looked different. It doesn't matter. It goes to another point I've heard you talk about recently, Anthony, that Ryan Day hasn't really embraced that he needs style points. He wanted to beat Texas, and they did that. And when you look at how Julian Sayin can and needs to beat Washington, they don't have an elite secondary. They don't have a pass rush that should really terrify one of the best offensive lines in the country. And there's no secondary anywhere. And Texas did a good job limiting Jeremiah, but they didn't totally eliminate him from the game. And I don't think that there's anyone in the country that can do that with both JJ and Carnell Tate. And then we're not even talking about incorporating in Brandon Ennis or Max Clare to this offense. So I think that there's a better feel now, a month into the season, 3 games plus that off week, of what Julian Sayin can do, what you can ask him to do. Yes, you're going to be finding out if he can do it on the road for the first time, but I'm with you. I think the Texas evidence is probably more meaningful than can you handle the noise, because they can simulate that pretty well in the Woody, and they have been since last week.
The argument, I think, against it would be, well, Arch Manning had all the pressure. No one was talking about Sayin. It was all about Arch. And so he was able to skate into that game under the radar and all that. And
that doesn't happen here.
I feel that's what I'm saying. I think that was the outside narrative, and here we are, and he's done a really good job. This is not to say that that they couldn't be competitive, Washington, in this game. They can be. They've had massive roster turnover with Fish's first year, and I think their narrative is not, can they beat Ohio State? At least before the season. I think their narratives, can they move up a notch in this Big Ten? Yeah. I don't think there was any of, oh, wow, look out, they might take down Ohio State. Now, DeMond Williams is a breakout dude. Jonah Coleman's an All-American candidate for sure. And I think Walters actually became a pretty good coordinator hire for them.
Yeah.
So I do think that they have a lot of what they need to take that next step, and we'll find out if they will.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what Ryan Walters elects to do against Julian Sayin and these wide receivers, because he has always been a pretty heavy, man-principled, schematic coach. I don't know that that's going to work against Ohio State. They had a lot of success against his defensive units when he was in the Big Ten. Now, the talent level is obviously a little bit different maybe than what he was working with, but that's, you're going to be looking at that side of the football, I think, for the difference in this game, because for as good as DeMond Williams is, for as much firepower as Washington has shown early, and we can take some of that with a grain of salt with Colorado State and Washington State they're not Big Ten teams. They're not Power 4 teams. So we don't really know exactly what Washington's capable of. But when you turn on the film, you know what Williams is capable of. I also know what Matt Patricia is capable of doing with this defense. And I think it does put the spotlight back on that defensive line to be disciplined and maintain their gaps in the rushing lanes. Don't give those up. But I would be surprised if Larry Johnson doesn't have those guys ready to go too.
Yeah. I think the big headline is a correct one, which is this can be and has proven to be a very tough environment to play for opposing teams. And now you do have a young quarterback with his first road start, and the fact you're going to wear that number 1 label going in. So you're going to get everybody's best anyway.
Yeah.
And Washington is probably going to look at this as, hey, let's show the country that we can play with them. 70,000 fans behind them. And they'll get after it, and we'll see how aggressive they want to be. And then the real important thing, and we'll get to this later in the show, is does Ryan Day attack this game similarly to how he attacked the Texas game? Routine play routinely, or does he take chances and do the Tennessee playbook a little bit and hit him up early and see if he can get away with it? All right, we'll come back to CBJ camp. As I mentioned, there is only 161. The legend Rick Nash will join us, and we'll get his idea on the expectations for this team and the 25th anniversary and what they'll be unfolding for fans this year as well. That's in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Matty Ice here. Football is back, and it also marks the kickoff to huge savings at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 with up to $12,000 off MSRP for qualified buyers. Just imagine riding up to your tailgate party in a brand new Silverado from McDaniel. And McDaniel GM Superstore has been family-owned and operated for over 100 years. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
All right, the big brother around here is the man to my right. He is Rick Nash, the legendary Blue Jacket, with us. Good to see you, my man.
Hey, good to be here.
Thanks for coming out. You dressed warm, so that's good.
Yeah, it seems like I'm living in an arena these days, and I'm just cold all the time.
If you're cold, then I know we're freezing. That's for sure, because you grew up in it. But good to have you. 25th anniversary. You're coming off a season where, boy, they pushed it all the way to the brink, didn't they? They got within 2 points. They had to make that run. And the funny thing, Rick, is they made it with a goalie that a lot of us didn't know about prior with Jet Greaves. Is that the biggest headline of this year's team, that battle in net, in your mind?
Well, I think it's definitely one of them. With Jet, obviously, we've been watching him for a lot of years now, and kind of knew what he could do. But anytime you have healthy competition, I feel like within a training camp, it kind of brings the best out of everybody. So, so far it's been a real positive of our first couple exhibition games have been the goaltending.
In football, they say, like, the locker room knows. Like, they know who's the guy. Does this room kind of know, or do they just kind of feed off the battle a little bit? Because obviously it's different than football, but I'm just curious if the guys in the room get a sense on this could be the guy, like when you're talking about Jet.
Yeah, well, I think once the season starts, I agree with you. I think they'll figure it out who the guy is once the season kind of gets going and someone grabs the the handlebars of the season and plays better than the other. But Elvis is a competitive guy, and he's been with us for a while, and he was obviously a player that we watched develop into an NHL goalie. So I feel like it's going to be a healthy competition. But to answer your question, when you see these teams that win, go on playoff runs and win Stanley Cups, it's usually the room knows who the main man is, and I think we'll find that out as the season continues on.
Rick, you went through a bunch of these, training camps, preseason games, exhibitions, ramp up to the season as a player, and I know that's about finding your rhythm and getting the rust off, but how does the perspective change when you are, sitting up here and got the permit chill going on and trying to evaluate what the roster is going to look like? You've been in those skates before. You know what they're trying to accomplish. How does that compare to what you guys try to maybe get done in the front office when you're watching instead of playing?
Yeah, it's a good question because for everyone it's different, right? For probably a Zach Werenski, he's probably thinking to get the the rust off a bit, get his timing back, get back in game shape. Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli, that are still young guys in the league. They probably want to prove themselves even more to escalate to a superstar and an all-star in this league, and then. You got other guys that are kind of bubble guys like the Luca Del Bel Blues, Mikael Putia, these guys are trying to make the team, and every single game matters, every single shift, every single period. So there's a bunch of different ways to look at these preseason games, and I think as your career goes on, it might change a bit how you approach them. But for me, towards the end of my career, it was about getting back in shape and getting my timing back on the ice. And earlier in my career was to prove that I belong.
When you mentioned Zach Werenski, I almost feel like he's certainly not taken for granted in Columbus, but it feels like sometimes the national attention or national coverage of him doesn't take into account how really productive he's been and how critical he is to the Blue Jackets. When you're watching him, what is it that sets him apart? Why is he such an integral part of what you guys have built here?
Yeah, well, he's definitely a top 5, top 3 NHL defender. What he brings to us is a bit of offense, a lot of defense. He quarterbacks our power play. He plays in all situations. So on a national level, it probably has a lot to do with our team winning and being in the playoffs too. Lots of those national playoff games are televised where they can see a player like Zach. I do think if he was in a market like Toronto or New York, he would be a.
Let's not put that out there.
Yeah. No, we don't want guys leaving for New York, right?
No.
So
it's a good one.
Thanks.
Well played, Rick.
With Zach, I think that ties into your question that why he's not kind of the face of the NHL, but won gold at the World Championships last summer, and we're hoping he's going to be a huge part of that Olympic team, and not only bringing Zach to the national level, but the Blue Jackets as well. And if we keep making the playoffs consistently, then I think that'll happen.
Let's go to Adam Fantilli. I'm looking at the stats here. What a breakout. 31 goals, 54 points. A lot of shots, a lot of hits. He was almost better in the second half, too. I mean, he was electric. 24 goals, 39 points in 44 games. If you go from, New Year on, and his ceiling as a superstar seems like he is ready to break right through that glass.
Yeah, I think he's ready to pop. You saw those numbers. They obviously speak for themselves, but his game's come a long way in the defensive zone too. And I think when you kind of scoreboard watch and stat sheet watch, the numbers are the first thing that jump out. But when you're going to the games, as to see him play as a complete 200-foot player, he's hard on the pucks, he's hard on the forecheck, he's finishing his checks. So for me, that's what's been the most impressive, is that he's going to be a player that if this team is going to be good for the next the next little bit, that he's going to have to keep going the way he is.
You're still pushing the top players to be your best players, like all sports, right? Dean leans on those guys, and if your team is driven by the top players, is it not?
I think it has to be. I think no matter what sport you watch. Hockey's no different. You have your core group of 5 or 6 guys, and if they're not your best guys, you're probably not making the playoffs. Playoffs is a bit different when it's a 7-game series. You can have chipping in from every line, but when you play in an 82-game season, I believe your best players have to be your best.
Rick, there's I can't really believe it that it's 25 years. There's a ton of celebration stuff that's planned for this year. I don't know all the details. You said you don't either. But part of it will be, celebrating your legacy, a bunch of your teammates. I wonder for you specifically, when you think about where this franchise is, the longevity that's had now, and then you walk in the barn and you see a 61 hanging from the rafters. Does that ever feel how did that happen for you? That's such a thing that very few people ever accomplish, having a number hanging up like that. When you see it, when family, friends see that, what does it mean?
Yeah, what's funny is I actually never get used to it, and every time I walk in, I kind of look up there. It honestly is, one of the coolest achievements that I feel like I've accomplished. It's the fun thing about it is when we come here with my family and my kids, to a concert, or I brought my kids to WWE, which was a blast, but and it's still hanging up there, and the kids the kids look up there, and it's. I'm so honored, and as I said when I did my speech for that, that's not an individual award. It's everyone I ever played with and everyone that ever worked for the organization. But as we talk about the 25 years, there's some tough years in there. But as I think we've grown the game a lot in Columbus, and I think there's also some positives.
Yeah, first overall pick, man. You were here almost from the very beginning. You were the first one ever to wear 61. Obviously, you'll be the last. And so that legacy will always be there. I think that this team has the hunger from last year, but as I was mentioning at the beginning of the show, Rick, that unfortunately they came together through tragedy, and that emotion, I think, drove them in Johnny's memory. How about this year? How about Do they have to separate that? Is this brand new? It's always in the back of your mind, I imagine, but the fuel is not the same, I think, as it was last year.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great question that you ask because and you said Johnny will always be in the back of our heads. He'll always be a part of this organization, and he'll always be remembered by everyone that he was involved with. And in saying that, the guys really bonded, and had an emotional start to the season, and it was tough, and we went through a bunch of injuries. It's not like a professional athlete should have to find motivation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sport, this is a game, but this is also our job, right? And we're expected to play for our city, we're expected to play for our fans, and to play for ownership. So, I don't think we're going to have a moment that we can rally around, but Johnny will always be remembered, and I think the Blue Jackets will always play for him. But we're expecting, obviously, a big year, hopefully.
Do you have the horses this year defensively? We talked about Z. I know that Don goes back in the 11th hour and gets Provy and signs him to that big contract. We're going to have Dante Fabro on, who's playing in the top line tonight with Z. Damon, certainly, that's a contract. You want to give this guy a chance to skate out of this and get to be an impactful guy. But give me your sense on, if you got to win in this league, you have to defend. And I just want to know, do you feel you have the horses?
Yeah, well, it's interesting as you work yourself. I always like to work myself out from the net, and it seems like we got a healthy battle going there. And as we break down our defensemen, it seems like we're in a good spot. Obviously Zach and Dante had some chemistry last year. I feel like Zach's a good enough player that he can kind of play with anyone up and down that lineup. Obviously, Goodbranson was hurt last year for a big chunk of it. So we have to get Damon back on track and playing the way that we know he can. I also don't think we've seen the ceiling of Denton Matejchuk either.
Sure.
And he's obviously going to be a bigger part of this coming forward. We have Jake Christensen, who realistically is still a young guy in this league and still kind of finding his ground. So there's a lot of options there. I think teams can always get better and improve, but for starting the season, I hope that our D-core can stay healthy, and we'll get a great evaluation of them if that's the case.
Austin was asking about the 25th anniversary OAR.
Do you play a musical instrument, Rick?
Yeah,
are you going to be on stage next Friday night?
I'd be too cold. I'd be shaking. I couldn't play any. No, I don't.
A job swap. They play hockey. You get up on stage and play some songs. But I know you are planning on being there.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be a great event. Obviously, we struck up a good friendship with the OAR guys with my time in New York, and obviously with all their ties with Ohio State, it's been an incredible friendship. And that concert's on October 3rd. And I think you can still get tickets at bluejackets/oar.com. I think they're still out there, but it's going to be a fun event to kick off the 25th anniversary season. And then, believe it or not, on Sunday, I think we're all getting on skates, and we're going to play a hockey game over at the Ice House down here at Nationwide. And all sales and all money raised is going to go to the Gaudreau Family Foundation. So we're looking forward to a great weekend, a great kickoff to the season, and especially giving back to Johnny and his foundation, who will always be in our hearts.
Historic year, 25 for the Jackets. Hope it's a great one. The legendary Rick Nash with us. Thanks, my man. Bring the space heaters next time. All right?
Hey, always good talking to you guys. Thank you.
61 in the building with us here. We'll come back, and Dion still playing daddy. I'll give you those details next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Get the MVP. More value price from Coughlin Chevrolet. Lease a new 2026 Chevy Trailblazer, only $198 a month. New 26 Chevy Equinox, $239 a month. Or a new 26 Silverado, just $399 a month. Visit CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
36-month lease with $39.99 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of the biggest reasons people get new windows, Wilson, is that old windows make for an uncomfortable house with crazy high roller coaster energy bills.
Leslie, people love being uncomfortable on roller coasters. The ups, the downs, the gurgling in your stomach because you had 5 corn dogs before getting on.
Did that happen to you, Wilson?
What? No.
Get the windows that can completely change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, so you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, or player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet just $5. It's the only betting app I use. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. If you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
If you're itching for a new vehicle this fall, you have to go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Hey, it's Anthony. I drive an awesome Ridgeline, and you can drive home the rugged 25 Ridgeline Sport with 0% APR or lease for as low as $299 a month. Or go for the looks and reliability of a 2025 Honda Accord LX, just 3.99% APR or lease it from only $199 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Looking to get your roof or siding replaced this fall? Call the company that delivers an excellent customer experience every time. Newman Roofing. Don't wait. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
I'll wear anything if it keeps me warmer in this place. Going to be running the arena stairs here in a second.
I wondered why everyone this morning, Scotty's like, well, make sure you dress warm. And then the first thing I walk in, you say, how are you going to survive in the shorts? And then Rick Nash sits down. He's like, I'm permanently cold in the arena.
He was shivering.
He was. That gave you the green light. You can just say you're cold now.
So what you need, and what I've known, and this is a trade-off, what you need is 20,000 breathing human beings, which doesn't sound great, but I think that's where a little warmth is going to come from.
It does raise the temperature. But at least Bake showed up. Ryan Baker's back there behind the camera now. And
he's a human heat pump.
He's got shorts on, too, so I got some company.
Yeah, he's all layered up, ready to go. Before Dion was this 6-time All-Pro and Super Bowl champ and Hall of Famer, and before Coach Prime and all that stuff, he's coming out of Florida State, 89 draft, and he was going through the pre-draft evaluation process, and he had that exchange with the Giants, who wanted to give him a test, I believe. And as the story goes, George Young, who's an NFL front office legend, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, who was the longtime Giants general manager, so during his almost 2 decades on the job there, he was one of the guys that was putting together that Giants run, those 3 Giants Super Bowl teams. He drafted Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms. He signed Bill Parcells. He was really kind of the unsung hero of all this, and he obsessed over the draft like a lot of guys do. And he was credited, I don't know if you remember this or know about this, to the point where he is credited with making the Wonderlic test. And it was this standard fixture at the Combine for years.
Long time.
And his interest in exams kind of extended to his own team as well. And so he devised this 2-hour written test that would be given to players that the Giants were interested in potentially selecting. And it was, for the people who don't know what Wonderlic is, it was supposed to serve as some kind of psychological assessment, more than even, I think, an IQ type of a test, even though it had a lot of that attached to it.
Yeah, and it got the reputation for it as it went on of being an IQ test.
Yeah.
And then it led to a bunch of criticism from players when the results would leak. But sorry to derail.
No, I'm glad you threw that in, because I do think where we go with this stuff, we throw it out all the time. Oh, he's got great football IQ. He's got great basketball. We throw that in there. Even guys that are in the league throw it in there. So Sanders met with the Giants, and they tried to make him take the test. And Deion explained to the NFL, I think this was several years ago, that he wasn't having it. That they sat him down, gave him this thick book, and the thing was like a phone book, and they claimed it was the test they gave to their players, and he was like, well, what pick do you have in the draft? And I think they said 10th, I think, at the time. And that's when Deion said, I'll be gone before then. I'll see you all later, and he didn't have time for it. Deion claims that's a true story, and why there's no reason to accuse him of it not being. And so we get to this year, and Shedor's coming out in the draft, and I guess it's news to all of us in the last couple of weeks that the Giants, that they were interested in all that, and other teams, or the Ravens, sorry, not the Giants, the Ravens, thank you, and that he didn't want to go play because he didn't want to go sit behind Lamar. And it was met with minor negative criticism. I never even thought anything of it, that he would want to go to a place, especially now when he was judged on being perhaps the first quarterback taken or second quarterback taken. You understand maybe where he was going, that, hey, I want to start right away. I want to go somewhere where I can help a team. So the Ravens being interested in him, I wonder if they thought he was going to drop. Who knows? But here's Deion's reaction to, I guess, their reaction.
They made a big deal out of Philly called us on draft day.
Okay.
They didn't mention that. I just let a cat out of the bag.
I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Who was it? Baltimore. And the Browns.
This, yeah.
And the Browns. They forget, I know, I played for Baltimore, so me and Ozzie are cool. So we understood that whole conversation, and he wanted to talk to Shedor as well as he wanted to talk to me. And I put Shedor on the phone, and Shedor, I don't want to say how it went, but how in the world can somebody fault him for saying or thinking, why in the world would I go back up Lamar for 10 more years?
For sure.
I've never sat on the bench and said, well, I learned a lot today.
That is a great quote. Damn, that is a good quote.
It's good for him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's across the board that you never learn anything when you're not playing.
It did not apply to Deion. It did apply to a lot of players.
Yeah.
And you think back to how frustrating it may have been, and that Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be behind Brett Favre. I think it worked out pretty well for him. The Packers strung this together with Jordan Love doing the same thing behind Aaron Rodgers. I'm just thinking of one example with one team that has had some success with that, but lots of quarterbacks have benefited from that ability to not have to go play. It is incredibly difficult, and we're going to see this starting on Sunday, right, with Jackson Dart and the Giants. Most quarterbacks, 99.9% of them walking the earth, aren't ready to just come out of college and go light the NFL on fire. It is incredibly difficult to do that. The speed of the game, the depth of the playbook, the understanding of what it takes to win at the highest level is not the same. I'm stating a bunch of obvious facts there, but I think it goes back to what was happening on draft day and the buildup with who Shedeur was going to work out for, why he needed to go here, there, or the other thing. The delusion that the Sanders family seemed to be living under about how he was being evaluated by NFL franchises and what his fit would be. Everybody showed him what that was on that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that they did not think he was ready to be a starting quarterback. And is Lamar Jackson going to last 10 more years the way that he plays the game and some of the injuries he's had? I mean, I think that's a little bit silly as well. I think he would have been a great mentor and a willing mentor for what Shedeur could have done in Baltimore, but that's neither here nor there. But it just reminds me of all that conversation, whether it wasn't just Mel Kiper, but it was coming, I think, from Deion and the Sanders family, that they completely misread the room on what Shedeur's ceiling actually was.
Here's the great irony to wrap up the story. At this point, I think Deion would have loved his son to go to the Giants, who had a high pick. And now, who knows? Because he'd be playing right now.
He'd be out there.
And he'd be out there. And here we are. The story is so unwritten right now to the point of Shedeur, and we'll see when he gets there, because I assume unless the Browns keep pulling off these, they're not a fluke.
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle, but if it's not a fluke, then maybe Flacco stays. But here we are with the Shedeur saga and Deion reliving his draft. And he was right, though. He wound up getting picked by Atlanta, I think, at 5. So he was right.
He wasn't going
to be around at 10. He didn't need to take the test. All right, we come back, top of the hour. Hour number 2, we'll start it with a big bag of knuckles. Matthew Olivier, the big power forward for the Jackets, will join us next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Hi, this is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we're offering an amazing $12,000 off MSRP on a new Ford Bronco Badlands. This offer is only from Krieger Ford, so come see us on Morris Road or visit KriegerFord.com today. Home of the Krieger Commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Scotty Vegas here. Smartest bet of the season? Bet on yourself. I needed a weight loss plan that fit into real life. Tailgates, road trips, kids' nights, and still lets you eat. Week 1 with Awaken 180, I was down 6. By the end, 45 pounds gone. That's with wings, chili, meatballs, sausages, all the good stuff. It's the Tailgate transformation. Structure, coaching, and food that tastes like a win. Make the smart play. Start your Tailgate transformation at Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Away game this week, but that just means you can make the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus your home for Saturday football. Join the Fan for the tailgate show and then party with us with the ultimate watch party. We have football contests with amazing prizes. There's wall-to-wall screens, ticket and memorabilia giveaways, and unbeatable game day food. Can't wait to see you at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Saturday. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ABC Wednesday, The Golden Bachelor premieres. Hi, Mel.
Hello.
Former NFL star Mel Owens is looking for his second chance at love.
I'm hopeful that I'll find true love.
But these women are in a league of their own.
Mel has never been exposed to women like us. I don't know how he can handle it all.
The Golden Bachelor season premiere.
To love, happiness, and fun.
Tonight at 9 on ABC 6.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Morning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Anthony. Tailgating, hiking stadium stairs, going out after the games. It's a great time of year. It's also the time of year I'm on my feet a lot. And there won't be a time when I don't have my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store in my shoes. They make all the difference for me. They help my feet, my hips, my back. They're not just like regular insoles. They're designed so I get firm yet flexible function. They actually correct poor foot biomechanics and give me even more comfort. The fitting process is simple. From the moment you walk in, the Good Feet store will personalize the process. From the pain that brought you to them in the first place to your lifestyle needs. They'll properly measure your feet and arch size. Then take the free test walk. If you love them, wear them home like I did. Your new arch supports will help you begin living the life you love without your feet getting in the way. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City and learn more at goodfeet.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. NHL preseason, the Blue Jackets host the Penguins tonight at 7. Hear it on the Fan starting at 6:45. In baseball, Guardians welcome the Tigers at 6:40. Detroit's Jack Flaherty faces Cleveland's Tanner Bybee. Guardians and Tigers both 85 and 72, but Cleveland owns the tiebreaker and leads the AL Central. Guardians DH David Fry suffered a broken nose and facial fractures after being hit by Tarek Skubal in Tuesday's 5-2 win. Cincinnati welcomes Pittsburgh at 6:40 in a marquee pitching matchup between Pittsburgh's Paul Skeens and Cincy's Hunter Green. Reds one game out of the third NL wildcard spot behind the Mets, who visit the Cubs at 8:05. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Voted best credit union for the past 7 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. Hour number 2. Anthony Rothman, Austin Ward. And now we get a lot tougher. And we got a big bag of knuckles in between us here, and that is Matthew Olivier, the versatile power forward for the Jackets. Good to have you, my man.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Careful, Anthony. Don't. Oh, sorry. It was just a friendly tap.
Yeah,
He'll
it's a
swing
love tap.
back.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, that's true. Boy, let's get into that a little bit. I think that when you were, it was like somebody said that you are one of the scariest human beings when you are pissed off. Is that true? I mean, because I don't sense that. You're not a trash talker. You're not a guy that, I mean, you play this game in the way you need to play it, but does your complete mindset have a switch when you put the blades on and get out there?
Yeah, I think so. It's something that kind of developed over time. I'm not a particularly fiery person off the ice. You know, I'm pretty even keel, calm. Even just everyday life situations, I'm not the one that's going to really get mad or snap. I'm always like, oh, hold on, let's find a solution. And but I feel like on the ice it's different, and I feel it's a good way to you can kind of channel all that stuff and really put it in a productive way. And I think that's kind of how I approach it. But I definitely have a different personality on the ice, and Ben off the ice for sure.
You had something to prove when you got here, kind of a clean slate. I mean, how do you feel about, when Dean Evison, you got a new coach, you get, it felt to me like maybe like you had a chance to just kind of prove who you were, because you've become such a versatile guy. I mean, the goals. I'm drafting you in fantasy, man. Can I get 15 goals and 300 hits?
That'd be a good year again.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That'd be a great year.
Yeah. I think it's about, like you said, having a well-rounded game. And I don't expect, my teammates to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, right? So, as far as finishing hits, blocking shots, playing hard, playing through injuries, that's stuff that I think winning teams all do. And that's something that I take pride in. Now, that's always been my identity as a player, but building the stuff around it has come, and it's taken a little longer than most guys, developing that offensive side or just, getting a feel for it. I guess it's just the way it goes for me. Maybe a little bit of a late bloomer in that sense, but everyone has a different path, and I'm trying to make the most of mine and making myself valuable to the team. All those things that you mentioned, obviously make you valuable, and they've allowed you to build a reputation for that toughness. I know in your line of work, that's a badge of honor. That's what you want to be. But as you mentioned, you're trying to expand the skill set and get more. I don't know that you're looking for credit for it, but what is it about your game that you are wanting people to see more this season that they've overlooked while it's justifiably praising you for all the rest? Yeah, well, it's about doing it again. I think guys that have success in this league, they do it over and over, and that's the challenge. Last year was a big step personally. It was a big step for the team as well. But I think the team and the personal goals kind of align the same. We want to repeat and do better, and that's the approach I take personally, but it fits what our team is doing as well. So I think that's a good way to look at it. What's the line between, as you look at that team goal, as close as you guys came? For me, as a Blue Jackets fan, it's like, well, that exceeded my expectations. It was fun to go along for the ride. Didn't think you guys would be 2 points out of it. I was like, that's great. They're playing meaningful hockey into March and right on the doorstep. Did you guys take encouragement for that, or was it more disappointment? It may be a combination of both of those things, but what it could take to get back to that point again. Yeah, I think we were more disappointed. The narrative was positive around us, obviously, and that's always appreciated. But in the room, it wasn't. We were all disappointed to have pushed that hard and to come up short. And it kind of translated to the summer a little bit, where I know it took me a couple of weeks, at least 2-3 weeks, to get back to being my smiling self in everyday life. I would have a good day, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about it, and you're like, you get mad again because you came close, and that's what we play for. So it definitely gave us an idea of what it takes. Definitely made us hungrier, I would say. I know for me, it wasn't like a pat on the back. It was more like okay, that was a good step, but we still fell short. So we need to get this thing going.
Matthew Olivier with us here on Rothman and Ice, delivered career best numbers. Man, just off the charts. And you were, maybe you're selling yourself short. I don't know. You were a really good player coming up. Maybe you weren't a standout prospect, but, I love your story. I love that you weren't coming up as a fighter. You fought to maybe separate yourself. Would that be the best way to say it?
When I started out, yeah, as a 16-year-old in juniors, I was a late pick. Moncton was not rebuilding, but they had just had a really good year, and they were going to be we were going to be less good than the year before. It's still middle of the pack, and I just had a really good camp, showed up. I think, every game I could, they were thinking, okay, this is the last one, we'll send him down. I'd score a goal or do something to make him keep me there, and once I was in, I kind of got into a rotation with a couple of guys that we were kind of getting in and out of the lineup. And the one thing that none of them were doing was dropping the mitts. And so I grew up around hockey. I had taken boxing lessons before, and I figured, that I'm not going to – I thought personally, if I'm not willing to do it, there's no way I'm going to play a pro at some point. So I just started doing it, and kind of worked at it, and it became part of my toolbox. I wouldn't say I was ever a fighter, a designated fighter. I could always play the game, but it definitely added to the style of player and what I was doing on the ice.
When you do fight, I mean, anybody can be on the wrong end of a fight. You're on skates. I mean, anything can happen. The balance, all that. And it doesn't, I mean, you're a big dude. You're a strong guy. Anybody watching can tell. But it's not like you have this boxer's reach or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But the boxing background, that's interesting to me. Mm-hmm. And so that must give you the advantage because you're not a long reach guy. But give us the idea of why you can be successful fighting.
Yeah, to your point, it's true. I don't have the longest reach, and I'm definitely not the lankiest guy out there, especially not in my role. But boxing was always a way to train, but I kind of was doing well at it early on. I never thought it would turn into this, but I just had a good view of it. I can implement it well on skates. For some reason, the balance part to me was easy to figure out. But like you said, I mean, you got to redo it every time. You can be on the bad end of a fight any given night, and you always have to be ready for everyone because everyone's got a fighting chance, and it's not uncommon for guys to take boxing lessons and to have that. So I think it comes with experience. Obviously, I've done it quite a bit over my career so far, and you get better and better at it, and there's a willingness part to it too. You can't just, some guys feel forced to do it. For me, it's just part of the game, and it's something that I'm willing to do. So you got that in the background. You took the boxing lessons. You've got the final boss on your shirt right here. Yes, sir. Are we going to get you in the squared circle down there too? I didn't know you're a big WWE fan. I am. If that's true, or I am a WWE fan. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan. Oh, okay. I'm not like a deep cut, knowing like NXT kind of thing, but I do follow. NXT was great last night. Yeah, I like I said, that the show I don't watch, but that's fine. I do follow along a bit. I have an idea what the storylines are, and my dad liked WWE, so it kind of came and went, and now it's back again for me, and my own kids are into it big time. So yeah, I took my daughter to WrestlePalooza on Saturday night, so I was just checking to see how up to date. I did watch that, yeah. I mean, Brock Lesnar he's got a little Matthew Olivier to him, I think.
Yes. Well, they said when you came here, it was like,
that's a compliment.
They got their John Cena, they got their Brock Lesnar, like that was the thought when you became a Blue Jacket. So pretty cool. I'm sure you guys are really excited. The hunger for the season trails off from last season, but similar group, same goal, but not the same emotion from last year.
Yeah, different start, obviously. Yeah, I think it's just it feels very business-like this year. Guys are coming in, everyone, like, not a lot of changes throughout our room. Everyone just knows where we're going. It's a second year under our coaches, second year under this like new way of doing things here, and we got a few changes in the gym and stuff, but overall it feels like everyone's coming in, they're ready to roll. And the talk, so far the talk out there in practice has been really good. You know, guys are kind of talking to each other, and we're trying to get a jump on things and really get this season going before it starts. And like I said, just feels like business.
Well done, my man. All right. I didn't ask for much. 15 goals, 300 hits. That's all I asked.
Fair enough. I'll take wins over that, though.
Absolutely. Ollie's with us, Matthew Olivier. Just the versatile power forward, a hell of a guy to root for, and he's going to give everything and leave everything on that ice. Thanks, man. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Ollie joins us live here at camp.
Thanks.
We'll come back with ins and outs. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keel's calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Children with Down syndrome in Central Ohio need your support. Join 10TV, Newman Roofing, and the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk. Join thousands of participants as we come together to celebrate the uniqueness and resiliency of the Down syndrome community. Your participation and donations directly support programs and services for people with Down syndrome and their families. Together, we can make a meaningful impact and pave the way for a more inclusive future. Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus. It's fall or autumn, as the losers like to say. What does that mean in the car world? That means places like Jermaine Lexus want to clear out all of their 2025 inventory to make room for the 2026 models. And for you, the customer, that means big savings. Take advantage of their lack of space with aggressive pricing. They also have plenty of L-certified vehicles on the lot for the fall collection sales event. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my friends. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com. Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys that sell for 1% realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens with your latest forecast. We're looking at scattered showers, some occasional rumbles of thunder throughout most of the day today. Temperatures will make their way to the low 70s by this afternoon. Showers and some rumbles of thunder continue through this evening and into tonight with more rain chances for your Thursday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
Yes, a little bit of the old in and out. All right, my nose is running. Take it away, TLC. What do you got?
All right. So first of all, here's a little pop quiz. We were talking about Deion Sanders and the draft and the Giants at 10 and how he didn't want to go there and didn't want to study for the test or whatever. All right, can you name the top 5 picks who went in that 1989 draft?
I bet I can name 2.
89. Was that Troy Aikman's?
Aikman
went first.
And then
we already established Deion went 5th.
I'm going to give you one more, and I can't remember the. I do believe one of the biggest busts of the draft was that the Tony Mandarich year.
That was the Tony Mandarich year.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Now
I remember he was on the SI cover, pushing that shopping cart, and of like how much stuff I do think the SI cover said the caption was the incredible bulk.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, we're on it. So we got Aikman and Mandarich. I don't know.
Well, you should be able to get number 3 because he would have asked for so much money they would have had to put him on layaway.
That's a hint?
Yes.
That's dead silence coming from Nationwide Arena.
That's and the hush falls over the crowd.
He said he got nervous when he heard the name Sanders.
He said he got nervous when he heard the name Sanders.
3rd overall, Detroit Lions.
That's Barry Sanders.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now,
okay. Those were the first
who
3.
Picked
so those were the first.
Fourth?
Those were the first 3 picks.
Kansas City picked 4th. Another Hall of Famer. 7 sacks in a game.
Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
well, we talked about Derek Thomas.
Wow, what
earlier.
a top 5.
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
Except for one of them. So we got Troy Aikman.
Except for Tony Mandarich.
Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, Deion Sanders in that order. So the in or out.
The safest one should have been the lineman.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Are you in or out on evaluating NFL draft busts based on who was drafted after them? Or should they be evaluated just purely on their own career?
Boy. Oh, you mean if there were a lot of great Hall of Famers that went after them?
Yeah, because it's not just...
It adds to the bust?
It's not just, that player didn't work out. It's, you could have drafted Barry Sanders. You could have drafted Derek Thomas. You could have drafted Deion Sanders.
I think I'd be in TLC on the punchlines and the joke opportunities, but out on actually holding it against general managers and draft evaluators. Because, and I try to make this point every year around April when it comes to Ohio State, and we talk about, this guy's got a first-round grade, or they could have 7 guys taken. It always comes down to team need, and it is more fun to go back in time and say, one of these things is not like the other in this top 5. But clearly, positional need. You'd have to compare it more towards the other offensive linemen that went and what they got wrong there. But I would have to say in on jokes and out on reality.
I'm in the same camp as that. I think it's nice to be able to say that Mitchell Trubisky was more of a bust because he was picked 2 than it's because, they could have had Mahomes.
Right.
I think that adds to the story, but if you're one of the top draft picks, I would say top 10 draft picks in the first round, you're always going to get that label if you completely fall, that you're going to be a bust. I don't think you can be a top 10 pick and not do anything. And I would just go to, look who they could have had, and that's why you were a bust. No, it's on the player for sure.
All right, are you in or out on this one? So with the Big 12, the most likely team, the team with the best odds to make the playoffs is Texas Tech at plus 138. So there is no minus money favorite there.
Wow.
Are you in or out on taking Texas Tech at plus 138 after what you saw them do in Utah with their backup quarterback?
I think I'm still out. I think it was a really impressive win. I think maybe we have overreached a little bit on Utah and putting validity on that.
We have.
What they did to UCLA means nothing. And I would like to be able to give them full credit for what they did to Wyoming, but that was not the most impressive performance that you could possibly see from a Utah team. So I think it's also that fact that you mentioned, TLC, playing with the backup quarterback and how long is that sustainable. I don't know what the health prognosis is, but that's a difficult way to make it through. And I guess I'm just copping out a little bit because it's easier to side with the field in the Big 12 when there is so much parity in that league top to bottom.
Yeah, where are we with Iowa State right now? And, like, TCU as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But you're just asking based on is Tech the team we would take out of the Big 12? Like if we had to have one?
Or I guess the question is, are you in or out on that being good value, the fact that everybody is plus money? So, like, you can pick whichever team you like in that conference and...
To win it all?
Just to make the college football playoffs.
Oh, yeah. No, I do like that. Absolutely. I'd have to look at Tech's schedule, but for sure, I do. I think that I like the plus money on them. Why not? I mean, maybe they'll kind of cannibalize each other a little bit, but, I mean, the whole narrative right now is can anyone actually stop Texas Tech? So I like the plus money.
Are you in or out on 9:30 a.m. NFL games broadcasting live from somewhere in Europe? Rothman,
Completely
you and I
out.
have two teams involved in that one this week.
Yeah, the Super Bowl that, we did have a Super Bowl against you at one point many years ago.
What are you two going to do with the rest of your day?
See, I hate early
Nap
football
and
games
catch
on
up.
Sunday.
Nap and
Because I've already dedicated my entire day from 1 o'clock on, basically. That's what the NFL does to us. You put in a 9:30 game, that's the time you're supposed to be able to get stuff done, do what you want, maybe get in an early golf round possibly. Now I feel like I'm going to be captive at 9:30 in the morning. I know it's my choice, but it is my team and his team, so now I have to watch. If it's a dud of a game, then I don't really care. But hey, this is what it is. This is what they've done. Showcase the game all across the world now, and so fantasy implications, betting implications. I guess I'm kind of into it now again, but I don't think I have any fantasy implications for this game. Only personal feel on the Vikes. So
I wouldn't
like it.
Normally, be very selfish about that. How does this 9:30 kickoff affect me? And I whatever. I don't even consider the fact that it's 6:30 a.m. on the West Coast, except that I'm going to be on the West Coast this weekend. And it's like, how do people live that way when they are looking at that chunk of the market? The huge population center that is over there in Seattle and down the coast in Los Angeles and California. Like, you're alienating a huge chunk of your audience. I don't know how that makes any sense.
See, to be even more selfish, I didn't even think of the people on the West Coast.
I never do.
At 6:30.
I never do. How does this impact me?
How does this? All I thought was, wait a minute. Now I have to get up at 9:30 on a Sunday, and what we all do, I think now, is we reach for the phone or the tablet, and you're watching a lot of it in bed. Like you're just kind of shaking the cobwebs out from the night before, and we got a game on. I do not like it. To answer your question, long answer to this question is, I never liked it, but it does give you another game that's not competing with another game. And so I think in the long run, my argument is really bad because it's more of, hey, this runs unopposed to any other college or any other NFL game. And so you have it as a standalone, but I hate feeling compelled to have to hop up on a Sunday morning and park myself in front of a TV, which I'm already going to do for 10 hours.
Yeah, if the ratings weren't, this has been going on long enough. It's not just an experiment anymore. And if the ratings hadn't been encouraging for them, and it's probably because of what you mentioned, Anthony, with it being a standalone, they would have stopped doing this long ago. The outreach to Europe is only valuable in as much as the American audience is still watching it. And if clearly people are tuning in, then they're going to keep doing it.
All right. That's it, right, TLC?
Yeah.
Little ins and outs. All right, we're going to come back in 2 minutes, and big responsibility for this guy now. Dante Fabro. Love what he's done. CBJ defenseman. He'll be on the top of the blue line with Z again tonight for the preseason against the Penguins, and he will join us in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
ABC Wednesday, The Golden Bachelor premieres. Hi, Mel.
Hello.
Former NFL star Mel Owens is looking for his second chance at love.
I'm hopeful that I'll find true love.
But these women are in a league of their own.
Mel has never been exposed to women like us. I don't know how he can handle it all.
The Golden Bachelor season premiere.
To love, happiness, and fun.
Tonight at 9 on ABC 6.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and it's tire time at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Now through October 31st, you can buy 3 tires and get 1 for $1. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to schedule your appointment today, or hurry into Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161 in Dublin to get those cars ready for winter. And when you think tires, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. And if you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We're sending AR and Matty Ice to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Their expense account? Nothing but beans, baby. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. What a great guest to have, because he's top of the blue line tonight with our boy Z. He is Dante Fabro, a Hockey and Hounds alum, I'm going to say. Yeah. Welcome back, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
This has got to be exciting for you to kind of get going, get the Blades on tonight, and go against the Penguins. I know it's preseason, but as I mentioned, you are top of the blue line tonight, so a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just kind of we were talking just a little bit before this, and getting that first game kind of under the belt in training camp, and just the excitement, a little bit of nerves to have everything kind of go right out there. But yeah, mostly excitement, and like you said, it's just it's a fun time to get back playing hockey and playing some meaningful games. Hopefully sooner.
Well, you guys ended the year on such a blur, man. I mean, got so close, 89 points last year, missed the playoffs by 2. So a lot of hunger there, I'm sure, coming off last season. But how do you separate, Dante, the last season and the emotion that went into it, and knowing that you can only ride that so much?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can look at last year and a lot of the great things we did do, and but again, we were short of our goal and making playoffs and try to make a push for the cup. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more hunger. You can just see it out on the ice this training camp, and just how dedicated you could see guys were in the off season and wanting to get better and continue to improve their individual skill sets. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, but obviously a lot of work to go, and it's a long season, so just sticking with that consistency and trying to continue to improve as a team as the season goes on.
And not a lot of turnover. This is basically a lot of the same roster, except that you may have a goaltending battle here. Jet, you were riding Jet last year. I mean, those numbers at the end of the year, 7-2-2. I think he was 191 save percentage, or goals against. He had a 938 save percentage, and there's a battle here. So for a defenseman, what's that like to watch that play out?
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, there's a bit of a battle in every position on our team right now. I think that's a healthy competition up and down the lineup. And, Jet, obviously, deservingly so, put himself in a position to obviously be on the team this year and compete for a spot. So, I think all competition within the lineup is good, because it only drives people to be better and stay focused. So ultimately, I think it's a good thing. And for myself, obviously throughout my career, I've had lots of ups and downs like this, and a lot of competition kind of going into certain spots or depending on the year. So for me, it only made me better and in the long run. So I'm grateful for it. And obviously, again, every year's a new year, so gotta obviously put your best foot forward and come out swinging at the start of the season and just like I said, just play the right way and try and rack up those wins.
Dante Fabro with a CBJ defenseman, top line tonight with Zach against the Pens preseason here. All right, you said play the right way. The idea for a defenseman on this team to kind of help out offensively and be aggressive. There's a fine line, right? I mean, how much does Coach Dean want you guys to play on the edge like that, a little tilted, maybe helping out with also knowing that you're not a team that wants to give up a lot of odd man rushes and put all that pressure on your goalie. You got to defend to win. So what's that balance like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it hasn't been too tough. I think we have a lot of responsible forwards, and which allows the D corps to be a little bit more aggressive in the O zone and throughout the neutral zone. So, big part of our game is trying to shut down plays early and transition the puck. So, I think the quicker and better the D can do our job and with gaps and surfing and things like that, it'll only benefit our forwards and our O zone play. So, it's been obviously a big emphasis. But the balance I found has been pretty smooth so far. So I think again, you can't let that slip, and you can't just ignore it. So it's something you always got to work on and continue to improve on. But I felt throughout camp we've done a pretty good job in finding that being aggressive, but like you said, not giving up too many odd man rushes.
All right, what'd you get into this summer? What are the highlights? What was fun?
Man, what did I do? Lots of weddings. Went down to Florida for vacation for 5 days with my girlfriend and her family, and then just kind of hung out in the interior in British Columbia, just sitting on the dock and going some boating and jet skiing and stuff like that, and hanging with family for the most part. But it was good. Obviously, throughout the weeks, do all the training and skates and stuff like that, and then head up to the cabin and just relax on the dock.
Anything new in the training this year? Tell us about your regimen.
A little bit. I changed up off ice trainers this year, and been feeling really good. Just was lifting a little bit differently this year, and feeling a lot stronger coming into this season. So big benefit, and I felt great on the ice. So coming into camp, I was confident with what I was working with, and so it's been a pretty smooth summer. I think it felt like it went by pretty quick, but in my eyes, that's a good thing, because then we could get to play some hockey again.
And you were, I mentioned early on, you came on for Hockey and Hounds, helping the dogs. You got Cash. And Cash, the chocolate lab, he's got his own little training regimen going on right now.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Obviously, he tore his ACL and meniscus before I was heading back to Columbus here. So he is currently back home with my mom doing some rehab and doing the three walks a day at like 15 minutes right now. So he's slowly working his way up. He's got his whole one leg shaved and a nice little scar throughout his knee. So he's working through things right now, but hopefully see him here in October.
He's a hockey player's dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, so he's grinding. We wish Cash well. How do you think the experience of the pressure of trying to make that run to the playoffs helps you this year? Yeah,
I mean, I think you just look back and, there were certain points throughout the year where we had a little bit of slip-ups and, losing a couple too many games in a row, and that's the difference of getting in, right? We were out by 2 points, and what happens if we were on a couple more nights throughout the year and got some wins instead of the losses? That's the difference of getting in and out. So I think this year, just using that experience and knowing what's at stake every single night, and going out there with just a little chip on your shoulder to want to prove ourselves and to want to get into playoffs, to put ourselves in a great spot to have the chance to obviously compete for a cup. So we got a lot of great leadership, a lot of really good talent on this team, but obviously the most important part is the work ethic. I think you see for people watching our camp just how hard guys are working each and every day, and it makes it a lot of fun for everyone to be out there.
Dante, identify the issue between home and road. We know how big of a atmosphere this can be and an advantage this ice can be. To quote your coach, you guys sucked on the road. That wasn't me, that was him, so don't hit me. How would you describe the difference?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, obviously I think being at home, the difference is, I think, obviously being in your own bed and whatnot. But, I mean, those are all just kind of excuses. We got to figure out to find a way to perform better on the road with keeping, our home ice advantage, too. So, honestly, maybe buckling down a few different things defensively or whatever it might be. But we just got to find different ways to win. And we're not going to win every game by a couple goals. Sometimes it's going to be a close match or 1-0 or whatever it might be. So just finding ways to win in those tight games. And I just think obviously the atmosphere of being on the road and the crowd being against you. Just the energy of different things. So, it's definitely a lot tougher, but, I think we're up for the challenge this year.
All the fans are excited. They want you to build on, on last year's success. Talked about pairing with Z tonight and that relationship and what you hope that becomes, that communication.
Yeah, I just think obviously after last year we've played really well together, so I'm trying to continue that into this year and continue to build, I think, in all aspects of the ice and D-zone, offensive zone. And obviously Z's going to be able to do his thing. A big part of my game is moving pucks and transition and defending hard and just being that layer of support up the ice. And so ultimately I want to be able to free him up to go do his thing. So we need him, obviously, each and every night, and we want him to be up in the play and making plays and creating out there. So as much as I can make it easy on him, I'm going to try and do so out there.
The identity of this team has always been, we've always put it as a work-hard team, be tough to play against and all that. Is there something in your mind that has to get better this year? I know I can throw analytics at you and power play and penalty kill and all that. You want to get into the upper echelon of those stats, but is there anything that you've thought about this offseason and where this team really can make a difference?
I thought we did a lot of great things last year, but I think our physicality can probably improve a little bit. And like you said, I think a lot of things go into being a hard team to play against, whether it's defending really hard low or being really structurally sound throughout all three zones. So, the less breakdowns you're going to have, the less chances you're going to give up. So just being really detailed, really keen on, your positions out there and, what essentially your job is, and not worrying about necessarily what other guys are doing out there, but focusing on what you got to do and what kind of job you have or even what kind of role you have out there and completing it to the best of your abilities. So, for myself, I pride myself on trying to be heavy down low in the corners and try to win puck battles and break things out. So I'm going to try the best to obviously my abilities to continue to do that and try to be even better this year.
It's been exciting to see you become such a big part of this. I hope it continues. Good luck tonight. Thanks for this visit.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Dante Fabro, Blue Jacket defenseman, with us here on Rothman and Ice. When we come back, we'll give you a Buckeye Bulletin. And the General, Bobby Carpenter, will weigh in on the Buckeyes' big roadie coming up on Saturday. That's next. Rothman and Ice on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Get the MVP, more value price from Coghlan Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% financing on a new 25 Kia Sorento or 3.49% on a new 25 Telluride. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Based on January to December 2024 retail sales, 0% for 48 months and 3.49% for 60 months equals $20.83 and $18.19 for 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. All qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
Thank you for calling Spectrum. My name is Angie, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. How can I help you today?
Great. You're still there. It must be like 3 a.m.
We're always here 24/7. What can I do for you?
I know it's late, but I wanted to ask you about the best place to set up my router.
It's never too late. We'll have you up and running in no time.
Only Spectrum has 24/7, 100% U.S.-based customer support. It's only everything. Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest and most reliable internet. Go to Spectrum.com to learn more.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter. He'll be there quick.
Game day glory starts here, Columbus. The 2025 Polestar 3 is built to win, delivering Scandinavian luxury, cutting-edge design, and up to 350 miles of range. Right now, lease yours for $399 a month for 27 months with $55.99 due at signing, and score $15,000, double the EV tax credit. Visit Polestar Columbus on the Buyers Imports campus by the airport, the only place in Ohio where you can see, feel, and drive the difference. Monthly lease payment of $599 per month for 27 months. Offer expires September 30th, 2025. See dealer for details or visit polestaroffers.com.
Get Eco.
ECO.
We come through for you when you need us to.
Our scuba diving plumbers can do anything.
Increase your water pressure.
Give you unlimited hot water.
Fix your drips and leaks.
Soften your water so it doesn't leave spots.
Install a whole house filter.
Replace your shower heads and faucets so your house looks brand new.
And provide you with winning lottery numbers.
Get Eco.
ECO.
They cannot provide you with winning lottery numbers.
I can.
Tell us.
3, 21, 24, 34, 46. That's $103 million.
Those numbers will be this week's winners?
No, those were the winning numbers a month ago.
Get Eco.
ECO.
But EcoFi Advantage is a guaranteed winner.
For just $28 a month, EcoFi Advantage covers all 3 systems.
Plumbing, electrical, and HVAC.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Scuba diving plumbers, genius electricians, and incredibly handsome HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
The Fan 2 is on the air. Catch the Bob and Tom Show in the morning and Jim Rome in the afternoon. And Buckeye stuff and Reds 2 in the NFL. It's lots of stuff. You get the picture. It's the Fan 2 live on 1460 AM, the Fan app, and the Fan's HD2. It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time, and we connect with the general, my man, Bobby Carpenter, with us, as he usually is. Nice of him to float down the stream here a little bit to the Buckeye Bulletin. All right, my man, let me see if I remember this correctly. You guys played Washington back in the day, didn't you? Was that your sophomore year?
2003 was one of the first night games they had in the shoe.
Right.
Rick Neuheisel had been removed as head coach in like May or June due to like the NCAA March Madness bracket, which is crazy.
And you guys, I think, had Maurice Claret removed.
Yes, he did not play that. So we were the number 1 team in the country. It was a big game. I think they were like 15th or 16th.
It was top 20. I do remember that.
Yeah, so it was a fairly big game for opening standards. You know, we were number 1, I think, returning just about that whole team. Obviously lost some key players, but returning, I think, like 16 or 17 starters. And yeah, it was. We ended up winning and playing pretty well in that one.
Yeah, that's interesting. But you've never been out there, obviously, to play.
I've been in the stadium. I've never been there for a game. We went out there when I was playing with the Patriots, and we did a walkthrough on their indoor and walked through their stadium and everything. And I told all the guys, I've heard it's crazy loud. I can understand why, because they have the awnings over top of the stands. And it's one of the most picturesque stadiums you will see. I mean, it is right there on the water through the end zone. Not the biggest stadium in the world, I'm guessing, by looking at. Probably
70,000, I think.
Say 70. So, good size, but not 100. But it's awesome. They're going to be juiced up and ready to go.
Is this a linebackers game? I mean, they're coming at you with a pretty decent running attack. I think they're top 10 in rushing yards per game. I know it's early, and all these stats can only mean so much, but this is a game probably you'd like to be in.
Yeah, it's one where, Damon Williams, dancing little sprite back there. He's he's like kind of a Johnny, maybe not more. I'd say he's more like a Kyler Murray or young Russell Wilson, the Rustler. I don't know if he's Mr.
Unlimited.
Don't worry. We worked that in there. Were you there with us, Austin? Were you on the?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got a lot of Mr. Unlimited in there. I don't know what his motivation is, though, Rothman. Russ, you've got all that stuff in there for him, but he's really good. And he's very explosive, very fast. So you're going to try to keep him in the pocket. I think that's where you look at the linebackers game. Yeah, Coleman's a good running back and does a good job, but a lot of their rushing yards come from their quarterback. Some designed runs, some where he just pulls it down, and then he'll let it whip.
Bob, we talked about this morning on the Juice, that Damon Williams has that ability to get out of the pocket, make plays out of structure. And, Matt Patricia's had this extra week to prepare, and I think not just that, he's also played 2 mobile quarterbacks already with Arch Manning and Parker Navarro there at Ohio. This is probably a different level of athleticism from Damon Williams, but it feels like to me that we've already seen what the blueprint would be. There'll be wrinkles from Matt Patricia, I'm sure. That's obvious, but that Arvell Reese becomes.
I don't know. He said he's getting Botox.
Okay, all right. The key piece here to defend there, Arvell.
Yeah. The linebackers, their ability, Arvell Reese obviously being a focal piece of that, Sonny Styles as well. And, they even do, you can see the different dime packages that they have where they'll go like little dime, like a 3-2, and they'll get Peyton Pearson there as well. And so those guys are going to have to corral him. And he's not very big. And the thing that's great, when you're tall, you have length. And so, you have a greater tackling surface. You can reach guys, but you do have to bend. And they're athletic, but you've got to force yourself to continue to bend, or he'll run right under you sometimes. And so, Arvell Reese, yes, his ability. And I look at Matt Patricia with what they'll probably do. There'll be times where they're blitzing 5 guys filling up the rush lanes. There's times where they're probably rushing 3 and probably having a spy. There might be times where it's 4 and kind of zone coverage with a lot of eyes back on them. And so they'll keep changing it up and keep giving him different looks. But this isn't a game where I think you go in with like a crap load of calls. You probably have what you have. You take away their best players, which is Coleman, Boston, and then try to box in Williams, and that's it. That's what they do. And so if you can bottle up the 2 skill guys, the running back in Coleman, the receiver in Boston, and then try to find a way to limit Damon Williams from getting loose, that's kind of the game plan I think that you want to roll with.
He is the one and only Bobby Carpenter, Morning Juice 10 TV Plus, and the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, so the flip side is this. Now that Julian's saying, yes, the fliplets. Let me ask you about the flip side with Julian saying. Are we reverting back to the opener and not asking him to do anything crazy, or are we now at the point where Ryan Day and Brian Hartline lean into and open this up more and take chances Saturday?
Well, I think you're going to be – can you be conservatively aggressive or aggressively conservative, Rothman? Trying to marry those two things together, you got to think. You're flying out a long way, going out to the West Coast. And Big Ten teams, the traditional Big Ten teams, haven't fared that well collectively when they've gone out. Look no further than Ohio State and Oregon last year. Yeah. So I think you have to find a way to be aggressive, still be what you are. You're flying out there. He's earned those miles, Rothman, flying out to Washington. And sometimes you gotta let him open those wings a little bit. He wants someone that maybe is a little more in touch with their exploration and being able to do some things that might be a little more aggressive. And so I think they'll take some shots. This will be his first away game. It's going to be loud, but he also has had 3 games to kind of fill in and feel out what he's best at. Ryan's talked about putting more on his plate as they keep going. I think they've got an advantage in the run game. And if you can find a way to score early, it's amazing how that crowd will kind of dissipate a little bit and may not have the enthusiasm in the later quarters.
Bob, when you look at that with Julian saying, I've not been in the situation, Rothman's not been in that situation, we've not been quarterbacks and tried to communicate down there. You've been part of these games for a long time. Are we making too big a deal out of first time going on the road and helmet communications and commanding the line of scrimmage, or is there some level of uncertainty or something that Julian has to prove that we don't know yet?
Well, the road helmet comms is always tough. You'll see the quarterbacks, putting their hands over their ear holes to try to help make sure they can hear it. a lot of these guys grew up signaling, and so there'll be the signals that you have to get to. The biggest thing is the identification of the offensive line in the front. The receivers, if you can block them up, they'll get open. The guys at Ohio State, you give them enough time, they'll get open. It's a function of, is the offensive line on the same page? And the good news is you start looking, all those guys have played a lot of football. And this is where, you look at, some of the guys that have played a lot, having Luke Montgomery in there at guard, Tegra at guard, Carson Hinsman at center, who now is center, then guard, then back to center, big time games, big experiences. Like those guys being able to communicate in the middle and get the information out to the tackles, like that's a big deal. Austin Saraveld has played a ton, and so I would rather have 5 experienced offensive linemen than an experienced quarterback, because I think they can cover up a lot for him.
Bob, final one. Where would you rank this game on the schedule right now as far as a challenge? Did they get bumped up or wrong? Does Illinois get bumped down? Where were they? Where was the ranking before Illinois lost Indiana in your mind?
Well, I mean, Illinois, Rothman. I mean, you're Signetti, man. He really bludgeoned them big time. It was a little bit of the viper in the mountain in there. So it wasn't just a beating; it was a beating of epic proportion. Outside of Penn State and Michigan, I'm going to say I think this is the next toughest test. Illinois is good, and yes, they've got a number beside their name, but I think Washington has some explosive elements, and I think the environment out there is going to be tough. When you factor in everything, the fact that it's a 3-time zone difference, it's the first away game, first loud game for your young quarterback, I think this is probably that next tier game behind that Penn State and Michigan games that we've always come to love.
All right, my man. We're going to split those miles right down the middle. How does that sound? Pretty good?
Not good at all.
That wouldn't be good at all. Bobby, you're not afraid to express yourself, if you know what I mean. So that's good, and we're happy to have you as always.
Go Comatose for me. Have a great one, guys.
You got it. See you, Bobby Carpenter, with us in the Buckeye Bulletin. We come back, top of the hour number 3, and we will lead it off with a home run. We'll have the president of hockey ops and the GM, the big Don Waddell, will jump on the program and talk about his expectations with this roster and this season 25 for the Jackets. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Oven-baked French toast. Hot, melty cheese. And meat. And meat. And meat. Introducing UDF's new 3-meat French toast stackwich. Sweet and savory cinnamon swirl French toast piled with thick-cut bacon, natural pork sausage, and smoky Canadian bacon. It's the newest flavor in our lineup of breakfast sandwiches. All stacked fresh, all served hot, and all made in store to make your morning. The new 3-meat French toast stackwich from UDF. Mornings made for you.
The Waterworks techs have heard it all. Screeching furnaces, dripping pipes, strangled garbage disposals, overflowing toilets. Did a spooky surprise catch you off guard? Who are you going to call?
No, not them. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222. We provide better care, better value, better results, and we'll take on any drain or heating and cooling nightmare to come your way. Happy Hello Waterworks.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and it's party time, baby, because the Grove City Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest is back Saturday, October 4th at American Nitro. From noon to 9, you get wings, beer, live music, football on the big screen, and more. Don't miss the wing eating and bobbing for wings contest either. Ooh, veterans, military, and kids under 12 get in free. Get the tickets at AmericanNitro.com/wingfest. Presented to you by The Fan, Columbus Chamber, Brex Paving, Darby Dental, and Equipment Rental. Wingfest 2025. The ultimate fall kickoff. Don't miss it.
If you're itching for a new vehicle this fall, you have to go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Hey, it's Anthony. I drive an awesome Ridgeline, and you can drive home the rugged 25 Ridgeline Sport with 0% APR or lease for as low as $299 a month. Or go for the looks and reliability of a 2025 Honda Accord LX, just 3.99% APR or lease it from only $199 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. and GermainHondaofDublin.com. With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. That's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Don't let life get in the way of what's most important. Visit shelterinsurance.com to learn more. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar, are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. NHL preseason, Blue Jackets host the Penguins tonight at 7. Coverage on the Fan starts at 6:45. In baseball, Cleveland's David Fry suffered a broken nose and facial fractures after being hit by Tarek Skubal in Tuesday's 5-2 win over Detroit. Guardians welcome the Tigers tonight at 6:40. Detroit's Jack Flaherty faces Cleveland's Tanner Bybee. Cards have erased the Tigers' 15.5 game lead as at first in the AL Central. Reds welcome the Pirates at 6:40. Pittsburgh star Paul Skeens duels against Cincy ace Hunter Green. Reds one game out of the third NL wildcard spot behind the Mets, who visit the Cubs at 8:05. NFL, Browns placed offensive tackle and former Buckeye DeJuan Jones on the IL and signed his former Ohio State offensive linemate Thayer Munford Jr. to the active roster. Giants head coach Brian Dable named rookie quarterback Jackson Dart his starter for the rest of the season. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, hour number 3, and the deep dive today is on your Columbus Blue Jackets. 89 points a year ago, missed the playoffs by only 2. Their over-under this year is 84.5 points. So I think the man in the middle right now is going to have something to say about that. He is Don Waddell, president of Hockey Ops and the GM. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say a former defenseman himself. good to have you on the blue line.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, so when you hear that 84.5 points is an over-under, I know you don't want to comment on gambling terms, but is that a proper expectation? Do you find that insulting? Where is that number for you?
Well, thank you for educating me, because it's the first time I've heard it. I don't usually look at the lines too closely. I would say, our expectations are much higher. Mm-hmm. And, after last season, you go back and, look at some of the games that we could have, should have won, which would have made a huge difference in the playoffs. So it's a different vibe around the team this year. The vibe is incredible. These guys, they know they left something on the table last year. We had a tough March there, a tough stretch there. Fully believe in this group, and certainly think we'll get the job done.
So a couple of guys we've had, Matthew Olivier, Dante Fabro, Nasher was here. They did describe more of a business-like attitude. Now, maybe that's because last year you came through, unfortunately, you came together through tragic circumstances. That emotion is not the same, but you certainly had a run to the playoffs late in the year. What do you think that experience does for this team?
Well, I've always said, I said at the start of last year, meaningful games in March are critical for your team, especially your young players. And, I talk about Fantilli. He had a tremendous year playing behind Monahan. Monahan goes down. He kept going. And I don't think you can do that without the leadership in front of you. So for our young players to play those games in March and April where it really meant something, I think it was very important for, their growth in the game. And I expecting it to just continue this year.
Don, from a Blue Jackets fan perspective, which is what I am, I felt like last year was really encouraging. As you said, meaningful games in March. Like I didn't think in September or October a year ago that was in the cards for this team. I didn't really know what to expect. So I felt encouraged by it. We asked Matthew Olivier about it, and he's like, well, I still didn't really feel good for 2 weeks after. It was more disappointment for him. I imagine maybe in your seat it's a little bit of both. Like there was growth for the organization, and you were also so close, and it could have been meaningful games in April. Which of those is more the emotion for you?
Yeah, we didn't reach our goal last year, so it's very disappointing. And I could feel it in that locker room the night of the last game, when we knew we were out, and the next few days as we did exit interviews. These players, they're proud athletes. They want to get there. So I think, certainly there was a lot of emotion with our team, but how we handle that emotion and took it on the ice, I think I can't say enough about this leadership group. Olivier fits right in there with the Boone Jenners and Monahans and Werenski. These guys, how they led this group, because they spend the most time together.
Yeah.
More than the coaches, more than anybody else. Players are together, and I think if you to a man, they were all disappointed at the end of the year. We went in the year, and I can remember. I don't pay attention. Everybody had us finishing dead last in the league, right, getting 50 points or whatever. And I just shrugged that off because I said, regardless, I know we went through very, very difficult, sad situation, but these guys are proud athletes, and I could see it right from game one. Johnny wasn't going away. He's always going to be on our mind, but when it came time to drop the puck and play hockey, these guys are true professionals. They're proud of what they do, and they wanted to show Johnny they could play. So I wasn't surprised how we went through the year. Just disappointed that we didn't make the playoffs.
When you've got 1,000 things on your plate, and it never comes down to just one thing that could have made the difference. But once you get past that, and you know that you're 2 points short, and you're looking to take that next step, was there one or two things that you felt like this would have made the difference? This is what we've got to get done over these 4 months.
Well, again, the young players taking a big step is a big part of it. But then, we wanted to address a few situations. We up the middle, we had all left shot centers. We weren't good on the right dot, so that's when we went out and got Charlie Coyle. Somebody could win faceoffs in the offensive and defensive zones. We felt like, when I go back, I said this, I didn't feel like this team needed to be ripped apart. I think it needed to be added to. And, we lost a few guys, through free agency and that. But more importantly, the pieces we had, I think, were pieces that we desperately needed. And I think that goes a long ways. And I know as the summer was going and we were adding, when we made the trade, 4 or 5 players text me right after. Great move getting Charlie and Miles Wood. So, that makes you feel good, that the players feel good about what we're doing.
He is Don Waddell, GM of the Blue Jackets, Director of Hockey Ops. All right, some tougher ones would be, do you think you took some, I assume you took some swings to try to help your blue line in the offseason. It didn't happen. You went almost to the 11th hour with Provorov. You had to circle back. The narrative was that you did have to overpay him because you felt you needed him desperately. Did you take us through that process of trying to increase the blue line and also making sure you had something to rely on here going into this year?
Yeah, we went through, free agency. Going into free agency, we rank all the positions, and we had Proby right up there, either 2 or 3 of the free agents. I was in contact daily, weekly with his agent, knowing where he was at and knowing where we were at. So, when we saw what was going on in the market, none of those top guys made it to the market. They all got re-signed by their current teams. And so we said, 8.5 sounds high. Proby's missed 3 games in 5 years during COVID. He plays every game, shows up. He's here all summer, was working out all year. I don't look at it as an overpayment. I look at it as an investment. As we move forward, he's going to be a big piece of our success on the blue line. So, to lock a guy up like that's got a great history, great person, great worth ethic, I think was good for us.
Did the way that Jet Greaves played at the end of the year steer you away from absolutely thinking you had to go get a higher echelon veteran goalie? The way he played, did you feel like that competition? I've heard you say Elvis won us more games than he lost, but obviously you're going to need a lot more from him as well. But where are you on your confidence in your goaltending going into this year?
Yeah, what Jet did at the end of the year, you have to think that he's got to be given that opportunity. Saying that, I always look to improve at every position. Again, another position that there wasn't a lot of free agents out there. That we talked to a few teams, of course. I said right after the start of the summer that Elvis and Greaves got to be given a chance to take this team to the next step. Now we went out and added Ivan here recently, which we think you're going to need 3 or 4 goalies during the year. It's just that's a position that seems to always get injured or whatever. So not playing well. I actually feel much better today about our goaltending. We've been through 3 exhibition games, and our bright spot's been our goalies.
It has.
The goalies have been really good. So I feel so much better today than I said all summer. I had nightmares about the goaltending because I was always worried about it, because if you don't have goaltending, I don't care how good you are, you're not going to win games. And as we sit here today and get ready for the season, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
When you go into these exhibition games in this preseason schedule, obviously we're all looking at the goalies. In your seat, what is the thing that you're looking for? What is it that you hope the Blue Jackets get accomplished in a game like where that the end result and the scoreboard doesn't matter as much as maybe the process?
Yeah, it's like we met this morning. What I'd like to see is the projection of how these players have been, the young players over the last few years, because at some point we got some guys that are going to crack this lineup. Del Bell and Hunt, he's close right now. So you want to make sure that because you go into the summer and you always think, okay, I need this position, I need that position, but then you forget about what you have.
Yeah.
And so right now, this whole camp was about these guys. Are they ready to take that next step, whether it's during the year or next year? So watching those guys, obviously, is number one. Watching our prospects we just drafted. I don't get too caught up in the score, as you said. And then the goaltending. That's the biggest thing. And Ivan played 2 periods last night. It was one of the better goalie performances I've seen in a while. That obviously, the other night, Jet was outstanding and Elvis was fine. So we'll just take it by see what happens tonight.
Don, when you look at a season in your mind, do you break it down into the first 20 games? How do you assess a season without knowing the results of what you've got, obviously?
Yeah, that's a good question, because coaches' mindset is one game at a time. It has to be. The win tonight, worry about tomorrow. I look at probably more of a 10-game, depending on how our schedule might be 11 or 12, depending on if we're on the road and that. Because you want to make sure you see progress. You might play the first night, play really well and win, and have a bad night the second night and lose. So you want to make sure, though, over a stretch, have you made at game 10 versus game 1, are we a better hockey team? And try to do it that way. And there's no science to it. You just try to, figure which guys are going to give you the most on it every given night. And the other thing with that is the back-to-back games last year, we weren't very good. We were 2-12, I think. So we put a big emphasis on that this year and in training camp. We'll see how that works for us this year.
You still got money to spend, right?
Lots of money to spend. There's no players to spend it.
I think Anthony was asking for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, fork over a little here. Well done, my man. I appreciate it. Some of those were a little tougher probably to answer than others, because I think the narrative around this team is if you get a little better defensively and you get some above-average goaltending, power play increases a little bit, penalty kill increases a little bit. Like if those you get into in the top half of this league in those categories, now everybody else that played great last year has to keep doing that. They have to, some of these career moves with Olivier and Z, obviously you expect him to be great again, but Fantilli and Marchi and those guys have to keep. But if all of that comes together and then you get a little bit of where you were so deficient, then I think you're above the line and you're probably playing postseason hockey.
Well, I always say the two things you can work on goals against defensively. I said last year at my opening press conference, I didn't know where the goals were going to come from. Well, obviously, that wasn't the issue.
Yeah,
so we've really focused on defensively this year, and the penalty kill. I think we're 27th or something in the league. That just can't be. We're better than that. Lundstrom, the kid, we didn't mention him, that we added from Anaheim. He's going to really help in that department. He's been really good in the exhibition games. More of a defensive forward, but very responsible forward. So if we can clean up those two areas, we're going to be fine.
The Big Don with us. Always good to have you, man. Candid answers. We appreciate it, and good luck this season.
No, I appreciate being on your show, guys.
Yep. Thanks. 4 games in 4 nights. Then they get a little bit of a break. Good. Maybe it's good it is preseason. We'll come back. Micah Parsons has a prediction for his return to Dallas. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
For years, you've been hearing us talk about the Newman Roofing difference, delivering nothing short of an excellent customer experience each and every single time, from the first phone call to the end of your project. But don't take our word for it. Take a listen to our friend John and his Newman Roofing experience.
Well, the first thing that drew me to Newman Roofing is the extraordinary Google score of 5.0. That was the first indication to me that this was going to be a good experience. Overall, the experience with Newman Roofing was wonderful. When I came home, the job was completely finished. The crew had cleaned up and left. I wouldn't have known that they were there.
What star rating would you give Newman Roofing on Google?
I would, without hesitation, award Newman Roofing a 5-star rating on Google.
Any advice for those looking for a new roof, John?
Once you have contact with Newman Roofing, you'll understand why everybody's giving them a 5-point rating.
Do what John did and schedule your free roof or siding consultation with Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
Ohio's teachers are dedicated to providing our kids with the world-class education they need to become strong, critical thinkers and future leaders. And that means having honest, age-appropriate conversations about the tough subjects. We all need to stand up for honesty in education and academic freedom. Our students deserve nothing less.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Shower activity will dominate your Wednesday, so grab the rain gear. Scattered showers and occasional rumble of thunder will be expected throughout the day, of a high in the low 70s. We'll see more chances for scattered showers and rumbles of thunder as we head through this evening and into tonight. Chances for rain continue into your Thursday with highs in the mid-70s before we start to dry some Friday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Free Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, back up. I think somebody pulled the plug on us, but we're good to go now.
Can't stop us.
Here at Nationwide Arena, CBJ training camp, back at it, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Austin Ward in for the Iceman today. As we talked a lot of hockey today, and very thankful to have all those guys on. We'll switch to the NFL real fast. So when I saw the headline, when they asked Micah Parsons about going back to Dallas, and when I saw, all I saw on the screen was Micah Parsons says sacking Dak Prescott will be painful. All right. Now, there were two things that came to my mind, okay? One, but yeah, he used to play for him, and that's not exactly the guy that he wants to take his head off. The second thing that came to my mind, which is probably actually more in the forefront of my mind, do you have the clip that I sent you, TLC?
Yeah, of Micah Parsons?
No.
Oh,
the clip that I sent you.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
this is what I was thinking when I heard it. If you can play
What's
that.
your prediction for the fight then? Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain.
All I thought about was Mr. T in Rocky 3. When they asked him what is pain. So there were two things I thought. Either Micah hey, I'm going to deliver some pain because they traded me, or the real one, which is, and you'll hear it from Micah, which is more of this is not the guy that I really have any kind of beef with that I want to put to the ground.
Good chance that it's both, though, Anthony, because this Dallas team is in a world of hurt right now. Jerry continues to overplay his hand and lose these negotiations time after time, and you just look at how much Dallas is struggling without him, and this was such a gift for Green Bay. It's going to maybe hurt him emotionally. I don't think he ever envisioned leaving or going after Dak Prescott. That wasn't his intention, but he is still so dominant. He's so physical, and it is going to be difficult for Dak Prescott, I think, to survive some of these hits with Micah Parsons unleashing that frustration.
All right, TLC, let's hear what Micah has to say about the return.
Yes, sir.
And what if you get that opportunity? I know you will want to with Dak. What would that feel like?
It's gonna be painful. You know what I mean? Dak's my guy. He was always like a good mentor for me. But you know what it is. I always told him if I ever faced him that it'll be a great matchup. So I'm excited to see what Sunday brings us. So
it's probably the last thing Dallas needed was Green Bay to blow that game against Cleveland, because now they'll be extra focused. Not that they wouldn't have been focused anyway, but it does add a little more urgency to Green Bay, that they were kind of anointed as maybe the team that could take down Philly, and then they blow a 10-0 lead to the Browns, and now they're returning. So the motivation's already there for Micah to show Jerry what he gave up. You know what? We're not in the room. We don't know what those negotiations were like. I listened to Jerry Jones' press conference.
Well, he's trying to keep his agent out of the room, too.
Yeah, he did, and eventually I think he just came to the conclusion that every time they felt they had a number and that they were asking Jerry to dig for more, he did, and then every time he got more, this is his words, not mine, that Micah kept saying, okay, now we can start the negotiation. Like, they just kept moving the goalposts on the negotiation, and I think Jerry took that personally, that he eventually said that they're not negotiating in good faith anymore, and that maybe that Micah, while he may want to be here in Dallas, it's not a 100% where he has to play his career in Dallas, and he got to a good team. He's making the most of it. So we don't know if it's a win-win yet, because now we don't know what Dallas is going to do with those picks, and we don't know what it's going to turn out to be, and whether Jerry's going to be happy that he did it. Who knows? But right now, of course, you lost the gem of the trade. You're going to look bad.
Well, I'm sitting here just assuming that there's no way that Dallas can balance that out. They gave away one of the best defensive players in the NFL, period. I view it as gave it away. Yes, they have picks coming back, but if Jerry Jones is still going to be involved in the draft process and giving the final thumbs up or thumbs down, which, they can argue about who's doing all of that, but he's maintaining an incredible amount of power, general manager style power with the salary negotiations and drafting, and he's well past the expiration date on that point. And when it's not hard, they keep saying, well, what's going to take for the Cowboys to win another playoff game? That's more difficult than winning another Super Bowl in Jerry Jones' lifetime. Until he's not involved in all of this day-to-day for Dallas, Anthony, I don't see how it's happening. He's not in a position to be amongst the best decision makers in the NFL anymore.
The funny thing about it is his reputation was a guy that actually spent foolishly. Yeah. Not that never spent. Yeah. Like, he was the guy that spent
whatever
foolishly and whatever it cost. And then the other part of it was the fact that he was one of those owners that I always looked at was that winning was almost as important or more important than making money. And I always have to slap myself when I say that, because these owners obviously are in it for the money. But this is the ultimate toy. They own a pro franchise, and the winning. And Dallas, while they have the brand, they don't have the reputation of winning anymore. And to give away a generational player, a future Hall of Famer, but he's the one that said that we were going to pay. Actually, he said they offered more guaranteed money to Micah than Green Bay did. Yeah. So it's not like I can really slam him for not wanting to spend money. It's just the way the negotiation went, and it did eventually backfire. Scott, you got odds?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of fun odds. Props with Micah for this weekend. But my first question to you guys, what do you think the over-under on this prop is? How many times will Jerry Jones be shown on Sunday Night Football? What would you set that number at? I've got the number that's available. I want to know what you'd set it at.
When does that start? At kickoff?
It would start at kick and end when it says 0 in the fourth quarter.
All right, so you got to show him.
So nothing pregame, nothing halftime.
You got to show him early when nothing bad has happened yet. So I think that way you can be fair.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to just show him when things are going south.
He's here, establishing shot.
So I'm going to say you get an establishing shot, and then eventually things will go bad, probably for them. Now, if Dallas is winning, he'll want to be on a lot. So I'm going to say the over-under on Jerry Jones showing him has got to be at least 5.5.
I think that's a good number. I expect to see him double-digit times.
2 in the first half, 2 in the second half, and maybe another one just to send it over.
I feel like this number is way too low, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's 3.
Oh, okay.
And here's the note.
Let's fire up the apps right now.
Right. The specific thing says it must be during game action. So, obviously, halftime doesn't count.
Right.
But I still think, like, anytime a big play happens, they're showing him.
Every time, let's say Micah Parsons has 2 sacks in this game, then that's 2 cutaways to Jerry Jones.
Unless Jerry has somehow back-channeled his way to the network and said, hey,
don't show me.
I'm not, this isn't about me. And if he can try
this isn't about me.
Of course, but if he can try
He's
to
not saying that.
If he can try to flex a little bit. But here's the thing. If he thinks his team's going to win, he's going to want, like I said, he's going to want to be on all the time. So
I did this.
I'm going to say 5.5 is good, and I would take. Well, the over would send it to 6, so you get 3.5.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but the over/under number is 3.
That's a good number.
There's a couple other fun props. There's will the crowd chant Micah Parsons or Micah Parsons? Yes is 5-1, and then here's another one. Will he get a roughing the passer, a taunting, or a late hit penalty? Yes is 3-1.
I probably won't take that. But he's got a perfect name for the Mike Pars. Like, he's got the 2-syllable first and last name. It lends itself to a chant. But
you mentioned 2 sacks, by the way, Austin. Yeah. Micah to get 2 sacks is 2-1.
Yeah. I think that's good money.
Let's load up the bandwagon, boys.
We'll bring on Adam Schefter in 2 minutes. Get an injury report on the quarterbacks in this league and whether Cincinnati will actually go back to thinking about upgrading the QB. We'll do it next with Shefty, Rothman, and Ice on the Fan.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. The Ohio State University Army ROTC isn't just a curriculum. It's more than just a path to a degree. For more than 150 years, we have been forging tomorrow's leaders. Here you will find your purpose, your mission, your ROTC family. At Ohio State, you're not just joining Army ROTC, you're stepping into a history of excellence that spans generations. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu. Buckeyes lead the way.
ABC Wednesday, The Golden Bachelor premieres.
Hi, Mel.
Hello. Former NFL star Mel Owens is looking for his second chance at love.
I'm hopeful that I'll find true love.
But these women are in a league of their own.
Mel has never been exposed to women like us. I don't know how he can handle it all.
The Golden Bachelor season premiere.
To love, happiness, and fun.
Tonight at 9 on ABC6.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC6. It's going to be a good day.
Ready for your next truck? At Krieger Ford, we have just what you're looking for. Trade in your vehicle and get a new Ford F-150 with a black appearance package for $11,000 off MSRP. It's all part of the Krieger commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind. Visit us today on Morris Road in Columbus or find your new truck at KriegerFord.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, it's that time of the week. Love this segment. Our guy, the senior NFL insider for ESPN, the one and only Adam Schefter. Shefty, good afternoon, my man.
Hello there, Anthony. How are we doing today?
Pretty well. I think last week I approached the topic with you about whether the Bengals would think about upgrading their backup quarterback situation or maybe trying to level up. Now, I didn't anticipate Jake Browning laying the egg he did at the Vikes. It wasn't all his fault, but I guess I'll ask you again. They're going to ride this out, right? Jake Browning's their guy until if and when their season is still alive and Burrow could maybe come back. You don't expect them again now to maybe pursue something better at quarterback or no?
Well, I don't, but I don't feel quite as strong as I did last week. Again, I don't know who you think is going to ride in on a white horse and save your season at this point in time. And Jake Browning, again, when he was called upon in 2023, did go 4-3, and we're talking about a quarterback who in his senior year of high school threw 91 touchdown passes and still holds the all-time California high school passing records. So it's not like he can't play. He and they had a very bad Sunday. Trust me, I took Chase Brown with my first pick in my fantasy draft at the 14th overall spot. I know how bad they've been, okay? Yeah. They've been inept on offense, inept.
Well, the interesting one, and it's funny, you just said who would they go get. I think I threw out some names like Russell Wilson when Russell was hot, and now that they're going to Jackson Dart. And believe me, Russell did not look good against Kansas City. Again, bad decisions, but you're right. I don't know if he's better than what the Bengals have with Browning right now, so they just may be stuck. Why don't we go right there? So Russell's now back on the bench?
Yeah, he got benched for Jackson Dart, and I think there's somebody sitting here, I was on the phone with somebody yesterday, they're like, hey, this is a head coach who's at the table, and he's got one chip left, and he's putting that chip on the table right now. And that chip is Jackson Dart. And that's the guy that can bail him out here because Jackson Dart has generated an awful lot of positive conversation. They all think he's going to be great. They all think they found their quarterback. They all think he's skilled. And if they're all right and he comes on and plays the way that they hope and think he will, well, that's going to light some fuse with the franchise. It's going to bring energy and a spark that they haven't had, and that you would think would obviously help the coach's chances. So, they're going to ride the rookie, and they're going to hope he's as good as they think he is, and we'll find out. At least we'll get a glimpse of him on Sunday to see whether that's accurate against a tough Chargers defense.
I think what you said there at the end is very accurate. We'll see how it works out. Now, I don't know how all in they are in his, hey, let's let him sink or swim, because they could always go back to Russell. My question now is, and I'll go back to Cincinnati, what if the Bengals call the Giants, now that he's been benched, and say, hey, we'll give you a 7th-round pick for Russell Wilson? Would they do it, or do they need Russell in case the Jackson Dart experiment doesn't work?
Well, they have Jameis Winston in case the Jackson Dart experiment doesn't work. My guess is Russell's played his last down with the Giants. That's my guess.
Oh, then they could trade for him then, probably.
Well, hold on. Before we go in there, I would just say this. Russell was available when he was in Seattle. Russell was available when he was in Denver. At that point, it shifted. Russell was available after the season as a potential backup or whatever kind of role you wanted him in. Cincinnati never once has reached out to Russell Wilson in the past. Never once. Okay. Now, they're in a little bit of a different circumstance. And, again, I think they're going to keep being patient with Jake Browning. But if this team, plays like that over the course of multiple games, then I think at that point you have to start thinking about, okay, well, is this the issue? And again, I think Jake Browning's better than that. I think he's going to play better than that. I think last Sunday was a little bit of an aberration. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But again, I think that's the guy they're planning to ride with. And they're not on to the next. They're not on to plan B right now.
I think that's probably the right way to think. They're still 2-1. Yeah, they were embarrassed against a pretty good defense. We'll see. They've got a pretty tough schedule moving forward. We're going to find out pretty fast whether Cincinnati is able to stay afloat with Browning or not. Going to Denver, hosting Detroit, going to Green Bay. I think we're going to find out real quickly whether they think they can kind of piecemeal this together and then hope that Burrow could come back. Have you heard any more about that, like the serious nature of it, the timeline? Are they expecting him to be healthy in mid-December?
again, my prediction, this is not reporting, but I don't believe he'll play again this season. That's me, okay? Now, could he come back? Sure. Is he going to work to come back? Absolutely. But as it was told to me when he had that injury, it was a minimum 3-month deal, and it probably was closer to 14 weeks. And if it was 14 weeks, that would have him ready roughly January 1. Are they going to be alive for the playoffs at that point in time? You tell me. We don't know that right now. I don't like what I saw Sunday. And then on top of that, we'll go back to Patrick Mahomes when he had this injury. He got operated on 3 days after the Super Bowl in February. He was a limited participant in the Chiefs minicamp that June. February, March, April, May. That's 5 months. I said to you minimum 3 months. Minimum. So, again, I think it's aggressive to think that he'll be back this season. Now, could he? Absolutely. He's Joe Burrow. He's got great determination and grit, and I would never question the will and attitude of a world-class elite athlete. But from a medical standpoint, the chances are he's not going to be back. It's not absolute, Anthony. It's not like no way. But again, I think it's ambitious. That's all. Yeah. Ambitious for him to think he's going to be back this year. Now, he's going to try, and they could try to keep their season alive. And if I'm making this up, 9-6 down the stretch, could we see Joe Burrow go Willis Reed and, kind of force? Yeah. These things are always possible. But I think that's a less likely scenario than the one where he is out for the season and doesn't play again this year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, the other thing is how funny would it be is if Jake Browning actually got them into the playoffs, did everything to get him in the playoffs, and then he said, hey, thank you very much. Here comes our guy who hasn't played in 3 months. He's going to take it from here. That would be... By the way, that adds to the improbability of all. If Jake Browning plays well enough that they're winning games and they're in playoff position, you're going to take a guy who's playing well out of the lineup and put him on the bench for a guy who hasn't played in a minimum of 3 months? I'm forecasting a narrative for us if we can. I'd love to see us get to that conversation. If you and I are having that conversation in late December, that would actually be kind of fun. All right. Yeah.
When you break it down and look at it from all those angles, right? I just think you have to say to yourself, we've probably, but not definitely, we've probably seen the last of Joe Burrow this season. I don't say definitely, because it's Joe Burrow, and he's a warrior, and you don't know what's possible. But from a medical standpoint, I would say we've probably seen the last of him this season.
All right, let me go to a little rapid fire on some quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields. Do they all make it back?
Here's what I would say. Today and tomorrow will be telling days towards that. The Commanders last week said Jaden Daniels was day-to-day, and he never practiced once. So when they say he's day-to-day this week, that doesn't mean anything to me. Okay? It gives me no insight. And my guess is he's going to try. He's going to want to. It looks like they could be without Terry McLaurin as well. He's getting more testing done on his sort of quad injury. My guess on Jaden Daniels this week, 50-50. Justin Fields has got to go through protocol. They have the extra day with the Monday night game. He'll have a chance to play in that game. J.J. McCarthy won't play. He'll be ruled out. He won't play this week. I don't expect he plays next week. Jake Browning plays. And Brock Purdy, again, chance. Let's see how today and tomorrow go.
All right, my man. Great stuff as always. Love the conversation. Enjoy this week. We are knee-deep in it now, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Go Blue Jackets, right?
You got it, my man. We'll be dropping pucks soon enough.
Playoffs. The playoff drought's going to end this year, we hope. And
Here we go.
Yeah. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Take care.
You got it. Adam Schefter with us here on Rothman and Ice. We'll come back with Tell the Truth, live from CBJ Training Camp. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts. No for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain for Toyota West. And with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of 0 down and 0 payments until 2026. And every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. Offer expires 9/30. No payments for deferred payment. Interest accrues at time of inception with approved credit.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One and stay at the top of your game. Several convenient locations across Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, just go to orthopedic1.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
Parents, are your teens good with money? No. Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Common Man here. I want to tell you about my guy, Bob Capace, owner-operator of Worthington Jewelers for the past 25 years. If your only experience is going to the mall for jewelry, Bob and his team will blow you away. Service, quality, and a great price. The store is busy all the time because people keep coming back. True story. My 8-year-old daughter says to me, "When can we go see Mr. Capace again? He's nice." Yes, he's nice. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
Children with Down syndrome in Central Ohio need your support. Join 10TV, Newman Roofing, and the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk. Join thousands of participants as we come together to celebrate the uniqueness and resiliency of the Down syndrome community. Your participation and donations directly support programs and services for people with Down syndrome and their families. Together, we can make a meaningful impact and pave the way for a more inclusive future. Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk.
Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is The Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have a take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com now.
All right. Take us home, big man.
I'm going to say, what's going on over there? Here's some laughing.
There was some rustling over here.
It was too late to get back in because Jack gets insider. Jeff Svoboda's right over here. I'm just in that hockey mode. I can't get enough of it today.
What do you got for us?
All righty. So we kind of had a 2-horse race atop the Heisman odds, and then one of the horses went down. So John Mateer, who actually looked like the best player in college football up to this point, Washington State transfer over to Oklahoma. He is getting surgery on his throwing hand. They're being extremely coy about when he's coming back. They are labeling it he will return at some point in the season. And so the standalone number 1 leader in the clubhouse is Fernando Mendoza. So tell the truth. Do you expect Fernando Mendoza to be in New York at the end of the season? Or is this kind of just some fun right now just because they destroyed Illinois?
I mean, his passing numbers are ridiculous right now. It's early. I mean, the whole key to his Heisman run is going to be at Penn State and at Oregon. Like, those are, if they can pick off one of them. They don't have to win both. They just have to win one of them, and then they're probably in the playoff. Now, here's the difference between Indiana and some other teams in my mind. I think Indiana is very competitive and a lot of weapons, and Cignetti is a culture king. He's got it going. I don't think they're, how should I put this? They're not, you don't eliminate Indiana from having a bad loss somewhere. Like, I think where people are going is, can they beat Oregon? Can they beat Penn State? Don't forget, I think they're still capable of a bad loss somewhere. Yeah. Like, could be them. Like, Ohio State is not a bad loss football team. They may not win every one of them, but I don't see a bad loss for Ohio State anywhere. With Indiana, I think you could have one, but there's no denying that. And he sat the fourth quarter of the Illinois game. His stats could have been. I mean, if they really wanted to Heisman campaign him, you play that whole thing, man. Can you imagine? His brother played the whole fourth quarter. So I like his odds. I mean, throw some other guys at me. I mean, does Dante Moore have a chance? If Oregon does what a lot of people think they can, Dante Moore could be a guy. Yeah,
Dante Moore, I believe, is in tied for second with Carson Beck. And by the way, when I say Fernando Mendoza's leader in the clubhouse, he's plus 850, and second place is plus 1100. So it's not like he's completely running away with it. But Mendoza number 1, and then actually it's a 3-way tie for second because Jeremiah Smith shot up there, which is kind of shocking to me because he has shot up there since Saturday. So this has been a little bit of movement the past couple of days. But Beck, Dante Moore, Jeremiah Smith, all tied for second.
Well, the beauty for him is that all of the preseason favorites are not around anymore, at least for now. Yep. And so this was always going to be, hey, could he be the non-quarterback that wins it outside of Love at Notre Dame? And it doesn't look like he's going to be back in it. So if he's the only non-quarterback that really has a chance at this thing now, and then all the preseason quarterbacks have fallen, so there's some value somewhere. I just don't think it's on Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, I would be out on that as well. You'd think I learned my lesson about doubting Cignetti in Indiana based on what he did, because I had been driving that Illinois bandwagon pretty hard going into last weekend, and he shut that down. But this is a September Heisman race that is as wide open as I can really recall, Anthony, because as you said, the Arch Manning hype has fizzled out in dramatic fashion. And then when John Mateer stepped into that void, now he's hurt. He's going to lose at least a month, it seemed like, and he's going to miss that opportunity in Red River against Texas next month. So be tough to reclaim some of that. The gate has swung open here for Jeremiah Smith, and you almost have to start narrowing your focus if you're looking at that list on the teams that are going to be in the top 3, top 4 by the time that those ballots have to be cast at the end of the regular season or after the Big Ten championship game. So not only does that mean that Jeremiah Smith climbs into consideration here, but the same would be true for Julian Sayin.
Here's why I think you got to find a buy now guy, because you're going to lose your chance later. And so the reason I brought up Dante Moore is because if he beats Penn State in Happy Valley, and then he's going to have the head-to-head game with Mendoza in Eugene, and I do think they're going to be eventually a better team than Indiana because they'll probably win the head-to-head. Now, if Mendoza plays well in that head-to-head, I guess he could still be right up there. But Indiana's feasted outside of Illinois on non-conference opponents, and so is technically Oregon outside of Northwestern.
Which are terrible non-conference opponents, by the way, because that's the Signetti way as well.
What do you got, Scotty?
So everybody talks about live betting games, right? People forget you can live bet Heisman Trophy. So on Saturday, during that game against Illinois, I grabbed Mendoza at 30-1. I was like, okay, the numbers that he's putting up, and people forget that, check those live Heisman odds. So you're talking about
cash out, baby.
Yes. So you're talking, and I do want to cash out, to be honest with you, because I don't think he's winning the Heisman.
Not after Oregon has anything to say about it.
But here, guys, I think that Saturday night when you're watching Penn State and Oregon, keep an eye if you see a guy popping in that game. Keep an eye on the Heisman odds for that one.
It's interesting, Scotty, that they allow a future bet while a game was going on.
Correct.
That's a rarity, but this is a prop bet, so it's maybe that's why they do it, because most of those teams are off the board.
I took it at halftime of that game, and that's when it was 30-1. So, and then fourth quarter of that game, the live odds were about 12-1.
Right.
So,
what a move!
It's a fun thing to think about for them. I think they have great weapons. The fact he's the favorite is probably accurate today, like if they're voting today, which they won't. But if Dante's around 10-11-1 and you start thinking about those other guys, where do you have Jeremiah at? 11-12-1?
11, so tied for second with Moore and Beck.
Yeah. Well, you might be looking for a non-quarterback this year, and if they can feed him in some of these big games, then I think you got something.
Beck dropped a little bit, and that I think had something to do with Miami kind of having a slow day against Florida. If you didn't watch the game, Miami did not blow out Florida by any stretch. They kind of pulled away late in the fourth. And Florida was going for it on fourth down, like deep in their own territory and stuff. So a little bit of a slow day there, but Beck kind of dropped down a little bit. And to whom it may concern, Julian's saying plus 1,700 sandwiched in between Nussmeier and Simpson.
Okay.
Keep an eye on it.
All right, got to unleash him. All right, good stuff there. Want to thank you, my man, for coming out in your shorts and hanging in there. Although you seem to be doing just fine.
It's a matter of pride growing up in Wyoming. We're just not going to show. We're not going to blink in the face of cold adversity. They'd be ashamed of me if I said it was cold in here.
You're better than me and better than Rick Nash today, apparently. Thank you to Rick Nash for coming on. Matthew Olivier, Dante Fabro. The big Don Waddell Jackets tonight, preseason here at Nationwide against the Penguins, and it'll all get going soon enough. They'll start with a couple on the road in the regular season, and then they'll obviously have a home opener against the Jersey Devils coming up in October. But we appreciate the Jackets having us out for camp. Can't wait for this season. Hockey and Hounds, of course, on Wednesdays during the season at 2:30. Stay tuned. Conman and Timmy take you through the afternoon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.